everyone, and welcome to the Digital to Dice podcast. I am Dave, joined once again by Vin. Vin, what's happening over there?
A lot of stuff, good stuff, mostly good stuff. Which
Oh,
is, I miss being on. It feels like we haven't done a show in a long
I
time,
know,
but it
and
really isn't that long. It really isn't.
that's on me. And I'll be honest with that. I got a text from the guy that I do the hockey games with up in New Hampshire, the junior leagues, and we were supposed to start middle to the end of the month. And he goes, "Hey, this year they're doing preseason games. You want to do some preseason games?" And so starting last Saturday, I think Sunday and Wednesday and yesterday and today, I've been going up there doing preseason games.
Good.
So the season started actually in August. This is September 7th, and early August my season started up there, and I've never done hockey games in August, and so we started that, and I needed it. I've been rusty, so it's been kind of fun working the rust off before the regular season starts. But yeah, so it's been on me. We were supposed to record last Wednesday, and I ended up going up and doing a game in New Hampshire. And I come home and I was too tired. And then Thursday I was beat. Friday,
Wednesday.
yeah.
Oh my god.
It was supposed to be Wednesday, and so now it's Sunday night. So we said let's get on here and talk some things here on Sunday. So yeah, the lack of the podcast has been on me, and just like it is every September and October, is just I just get caught up with the new work schedule, and I try to find time to do it. So anyway, today in episode 280. Oh, by the way, let me ways to get a hold of us. Let's do that. Ways to get a hold of us. Digitaltodice.com is the website. 978-751-DICE is the text line. And you can leave us a voicemail too if you'd like to. Digitaltodice@yahoo.com is the email. And over on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/digitaltodice. So, today we're going to talk about football. It's going to be the football show. Alrighty. I know Vin's been playing at least one new football game, and as the season kicked off today, I think it'd be fun just to kind of talk some football games, things like that. So I think that's what we're going to do in episode 280 today. I think though, before we do that, we can do a what you're playing. What do you think? Should we do a what you're playing? There we go.
Sure.
Alrighty, so we'll kick it off with you, Vin. What's been on your table I guess over a week and a half now. So
I can't believe you just said that. I thought it was last week. Wow. Time's flying, bro.
yeah. Summer's gone, and now the days get shorter. I remember I used to look outside; it was like light till 9 o'clock, and now it's like 6:37. It's like the sun's kind of dropping behind the horizon.
I'm so fast. We got so many birthdays this month. I got my beautiful daughter's birthday next week. I just nonstop. It's crazy. Anyway, I told you a little bit. I went to Canton and I had to buy the app a football game and see what the fuss was about. Deep dive into it after playing that one half against Phil. I really like it.
It's a fun game. It's a fun game.
Fun.
It's actually really simple.
Yep.
The hard part is, and if you've seen any of my videos when I first started playing Apple football, the hard part is looking at the cards and looking at the symbols on the cards to figure out what they all mean.
Yes.
That is the hard part. And I was all confused at that. And even though I had the key to show me what was what, I still took a while to get it. And what I finally did is I just went to Pro Football Reference and I looked at the game I was playing and I pulled out those guys.
Boom.
Right. And so when you pull out the kicker and you look at say Nick Mickemeyer, let's say you pull out Nick Mickemeyer and so you look at the card, you say, oh, he's the kicker. I can see now that he's the kicker by looking at his symbols. But when you start with, who's the kicker, and then you put the symbols on, it's easier than looking at the symbols and trying to figure out who's the kicker, if that makes any sense.
100%.
Yeah. And my returners too. So what's kind of neat is when you look at the returners in the game, they're like OA, OB, OC. Well, what does all that mean? Well, that's your your primary, your secondary, and then your third kick returner. And then you got the TA and the PA. It's like, what is that? Well, if you pull out all the guys and say, here's my punter, here's my returner, and you look at the card, it's like, oh, it makes way more sense to do it that way than it does to go through the cards and say, where's my punter, where's my returners? Because those symbols mess you up. So I would suggest pick a game, go to Pro Football Reference, pull the guys out that you see on the computer screen,
Yep.
and it'll make way more sense that way. But once you
Exactly what I
conquer
did
the
today.
symbols on the card, the rest of the game is very easy.
Yep, exactly what I did today. I took out because I ordered 2 great team sets, and then I ordered 2 seasons from, Chris.
Oh,
Beautiful,
nice, nice.
beautiful seasons. You know
Oh,
me, I
he's
read
got
all
some
kinds
nice
of stuff.
cards. Nice cards.
Got 36, the 32 and 46 or 40, yeah, I think it's 46. Good stuff, like with Marion Motley,
So
and
you like the old football
I
seasons, huh?
love it. I love it.
See, I watched like the highlight. So those it just reminds you of like watching a Three Stooges episode. You know, the leather helmets and the no face
I
mask.
love it.
It's so weird. It's such a weird football game back then.
It was, but that was my attraction walking around the Hall of Fame too.
Yeah.
And then there was an office, and somebody whose officer was had a black old time leather helmet in there. And I was dying for somebody to walk in there so I could ask him whose helmet was that.
Oh,
I just every time I walk by, right outside where they put the food and stuff in the hallway, like for the room, I was like, you'd see it every time I walk by. Who the
yeah.
heck helmet is that? I was dying to know. I should have asked the gentleman in the pro shop. He knew everything anyway.
Did
But
he?
yeah, so I set up 72 Dolphins versus
Ooh.
71 Cowboys. Adding them up is so much easier. Like you said, Pro Football Reference. I don't need to go through nothing. Although your sheet that you sent us for the reference of the positions is great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it helps, especially with the returns. And then I just see who. Looked up the return, kick return, punt return stats. Who was the leaders of that? But oh, here's their card. Boom.
Yeah.
Rest of them off to the side.
Yeah.
I'm done with the first quarter already. And I
Yeah.
had interruptions, things going on,
Yeah.
and it's a little slow going through the chart. But the book is great because it has the black labeled where you need to look on what
Hmm.
page. So it's like having the tabs.
Yeah.
You just keep moving forward or
Yeah.
backwards, wherever you
Yeah.
have to go. And yeah,
I,
it's
I like how the chart book is field position related.
yeah,
So you got your main chart, which is what between your 15 and their 30. It's worded really weird,
yes.
but between your 15 and their 30-yard line or 31 or something, and that's where a bulk of the plays take place. And if you back up inside your 15, there's a set of charts for that. And if you get inside their 30, I think there's 2 charts. I think it's from the 30 to the 10, and then inside the 10. And what I really like about that is it's not just a generic chart. That's what I really like about it. So if you're gonna throw a short pass or a handoff or whatever you're doing, I like how sometimes it's going to be different if you're inside the 9 and it's first and goal compared to midfield somewhere.
Well, it's tougher to complete a pass by
Yeah,
name.
and I like how that the charts
Excuse me.
reflect where you are in the field. I really do like that. The
Yep.
hottest thing is trying to figure out the defensive index to use, whether you're using A, B, or C, especially on a run. That's why I like to use the defensive cards, and some people like them, some people don't. And there's different ways to get your defensive number. But that's why I like to use the cards for that. But again, there's many different ways. But once you figure out that, how to get your defensive number, and then you just figure out the defensive formation, it's just rolling off the chart. It
It
takes a
doesn't
few plays. And after a few plays, you kind of get what they're looking to do.
it doesn't fluctuate throughout the game, does it? That maybe I'm playing it wrong first.
It depends how you play it. It depends how you play it. When I use the defensive cards that I bought extra there, yes, you can go from A, B, or C on any particular play, depending on what's the dice roll is,
Okay.
and that's all kind of weighs in with how good the defense is compared to the offense. If you follow that,
Right,
if you
right.
got a dominant defense compared to a weak offense, you're more than likely going to be playing more B and C index, which is better for the defense. If you have a weak defense compared to a good offense, that defense, when you roll the dice on the card, is going to be more A's and B's, which is better for the offense. If you
And
follow
that
that, and I think the standard game is you're mostly playing in the B index, and that's what I did at the start. And I thought that was just there's really no difference between the teams then if you're always in B index for both teams, unless it's an extreme situation. I didn't care for that. I thought that was kind of dull for me. And so when I roll the dice on the defensive cards, and you get either A, B, or C, again being weighted to depending how good the defense is, I think that what that spells out is a bad defense can still make a good play from time to time, and a good defense can still make a mistake from time to time. That's why I like to have the fluctuating index between A, B, and C. That's just my preference. That's how I play.
Yeah.
And if you've seen any of the games that I played on my channel, it's my games. I consider my games to be pretty amazing. I've had some very, very memorable games using that system.
I could see that. I've been using the alternate defensive chart. So
Yeah,
you actually have to roll on. Yeah, see, Joe
Joe.
uses,
Yeah, I think
and
that's the one that comes with the game. I think,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
yeah, and it's worked. But
yeah,
I wouldn't mind having a little more fluctuation. But
yeah.
it
I
felt
think I
good.
did a video on the defensive cards, and some people commented that, oh, that's way too difficult, and some people commented, yeah, I use that too. So it all depends on what you want to do. The other thing I use the defensive cards for, it's kind of a starting point. So I get my index. That's where I go with that.
Okay,
Say on a run, and then but it'll also tell you if you're playing ground, standard, or deep on the
right.
play. Yeah. So that's just kind of neat. On certain situations, again, that's my starting point. If it's 3rd and 15 and I roll ground, I'm not playing ground. I'm not playing ground. I'm playing deep. So even if I roll that, I'm still bumping it to D. That's just what I'm going to do.
Right,
If it says G or S, I'm going D. But
right.
for first and second down, I'll take what's on the card. It's a guessing game. It's defensive coordinator versus offensive coordinator, and that's what makes that kind of fun like that. Once you get into situation specific downs, say, 4th and goal, or whatever it is, 1st and goal in the 1, you're playing ground. You're not playing deep. Things like that. So just I use my common sense to make adjustments on the defensive card as far as the defense lineup. That's what
That
I like
makes
to
sense.
do.
That makes sense for
Yeah, it's
sure.
just common
But
sense thing. And
listen, bottom line is, I like the game.
yeah, it
I
plays pretty
like it.
well. Yep. Once you get the defense down, that's half the battle. And there's many ways to do it. And there's easy ways, and there's more difficult ways. Some people, every time they call a play and they bring in a different guy, they reconfigure
Yes,
that.
but I could see that.
I can
It's
see
a
how
real
that would help out.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
But at the same time, that's a lot of work. And, let's just say you bring in an extra receiver, an extra back, and it changes, your offense goes from, I don't know, 34 to 35 or whatever. If you play it by the standard rules, it's still the B
yes,
index. It never changes from B. That's not a complaint, but I'm just saying that you spend all this time adjusting and you're still B.
right.
Whereas I just let them ride. That's my guide for the game. I flip my defensive cards, and that's where I get my fluctuation. And for me, it works really, really
I'm gonna
well.
have to get them. Because I do like them. I thought they came with the game, but I'm gonna reach
Yeah,
out.
I think they're
I
$20. They're not even that
don't
expensive,
think. I think they're $8.
Yeah, it might even be less than that. Yeah,
Yeah, I think they're
yeah.
$8.
Some people love them, like myself, and some people hate them.
Well, I'd rather
But
have
but
them than
it, but
try
it's
it.
it's whatever you want to do. I mean, there's different ways to play defense in that game, and it's whatever works for you. Whatever's the most fun for you.
Right.
And
I'd rather have it and try it, Dave. If I don't like them, okay.
yeah, yep. And it took me, maybe a quarter to kind of get used to what I'm doing. But for me, that's my guide. It gives me a point. What do these guys call? What's the adjustment going to be? And then I do what I think is fair.
Yeah,
And then I play it. And whatever I'm doing, Vin, I'm having a heck of a time.
that's all. I can see how
Yep,
you enjoying
yep,
this game too. I really can.
yep.
It's like when I messaged you and Joe today about the field goal. That was a difference of
That was weird.
Galloway and
Yeah,
Birmingham missing or making it 3-0. Well, the bottom line is you use the scrimmage, and I had a feeling they factored it into the cards.
yeah,
You're right. It's fine.
yeah.
Some games they
Well,
factor it in with adding the yard.
yeah. Well, that's the thing is some games when you look for the field goal, you go by how long it is. And in today's day, you add 17 yards to the line of scrimmage. So if you're in the 20, you're kicking from 37. Appa, with the way they do it, if you're kicking from the 20, you look at the chart. You're kicking from the 20.
You know what? The way my brain works, it's a lot easier.
Oh, it is a lot easier. Yeah. And the only way you need to add it up is if you want to calculate, the missed of the good field goal, the distance was.
Yeah.
And I was the same way. It's like, man, I can't hit a field goal. And then I think it was Jeff actually from the Apple Football Club, and he says, "Yeah, no, Dave, use the line of scrimmage. You don't factor in all the extra yards." I was like, "Oh," then all of a sudden, bam! Now I'm hitting the 30 yarders. And before, I mean, that turned into 47. So I'm looking at the chart, and no one's hitting the
You never hit me
47s in the
on.
70s.
No.
You know,
Right, right.
um, one note that is kind of funny is on the 1970 set that I got, Tom Dempsey has a special annotation on his card
Oh, wow.
because he hit that 63 yarder. So if you try, I think it is 60, it's either 63 or 64 or less, like up that range. He does get that one roll that'll hit that field goal, and only him for that year. So they did factor that into Tom Dempsey. I thought that was kind of cool.
That's great. Yeah, so I'm gonna enjoy this the great team sets and definitely the older seasons I got from Chris. Like, I mean, come on, got the 1932 Bears with Red Grange.
Oh, I've heard of him. I've heard of him.
Oh, there's a great book on him. I'm listening to it again. The
Yeah.
first American superstar or something. His first American star. Talked about how he came out of Illinois, hard working kid. I mean, farmer, worked hard. Anyway, George Hallis knew what he was doing, and he had a few guys that would get some guy Pyle, and they started barnstorming with him. They promised him money. That's all he was about, trying to make money.
Mm.
But the season I have, he wasn't too good. So they would have to go a little bit further, a year or two ahead. But I have Red Grange, and he's going to get on my table.
Yeah. Wait. So I'm going to hold off on this next thought. I'm not even going to bring it up, but we're going to pick up that thought in a bit. So we'll just finish off what you're playing. So you're playing some Apple football. Anything else on the table you've been kicking around?
Of course, I still have matchup college football on there. I'm trying to get through this the 50s tournament that I have, all 50s teams. There's only two 60s teams that rounded it off, Navy and Army. But I want to get through it because ST has come out with some fantastic sets, especially one he calls the Sunshine State. It just came out.
Yeah.
And it's got great teams from Florida, like drooling great teams if you're a college football nut like me. And man, I want to get some of them on the table. So I've been playing that. And you know what I picked up also? APA related. Jeff had it on the table in Canton. It was a little pocket sized. It was 2000 Pro Bowl edition. Did you ever see it?
I don't.
It's a simple game. It doesn't have all the symbols on the cards.
Okay.
And
is it APA?
Yeah.
Did it come in a green box?
Yes.
Yes. Alan gave me that in Connecticut. I've been looking at that.
Game. It's a great little travel game. You set up in a hotel room, wherever, and you just play it. It's the simple version of the game, but it made me think because I played. There two Pro Bowl teams from that year, and obviously had Peyton Manning and Kurt Warner. So Warner went down the field, scored. Manning answered back after throwing a pick, and I'm like, okay, these are Pro Bowl teams. They're going to score a lot, but boy, this would be fun with some real teams on the table. But it's just quick version. The charts are all in the little fold-out envelope.
I need to pull that out. I need to pull that out and check it. I do.
Yeah, I think you'd be pleasantly surprised. Is it going to replace ABBA Base? No, it's not going to. But listen, we like all the red ice and baseline. This game,
really
fat. Oh my goodness!
I need to check it out now. I need to check it out.
Because I asked Jeff, "What is this?" He goes, "Oh, that's just a quick play thing, and you could pick it up for like $15, $20. Of course, Vinny don't find them deals." But I ordered two of them. I tried to cancel the one from Noble Knight, but it came. So I'm going to bless somebody with it. Probably Joe will take it because he travels a lot too.
Nice.
So, yeah. So I'm doing that. And like I said, matchup college. It's been kind of a football thing for me going on. And is fixing up your whole house a game? No. Okay. So I'm not playing that. That. But I also had.
Oh yeah, Kenny Dryden. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
R.I.P. I didn't know he was sick, and I was surprised when I heard that the other day. I was like, oh man, poor Kenny. I just as much as he drove me nuts as a Bruins fan, he good for Kenny. He was so good. The
same way. God forbid I see today Bobby Orr.
Yeah.
I love hockey. I love these people, players, and that was my childhood, especially that Canadiens team. I played on a Canadiens team. They were the Canadian right through their heyday, and I remember one year when we won, we beat this team, a Flyers team, and just so happened that was the year they faced each other in the Stanley Cup Finals, and they played clips of the game inside the banquet hall we were in. And
Oh, nice, nice.
so, yeah, it was,
Yeah, it kind of stinks when your heroes like that pass away. It just
yeah,
it
yeah,
really does stink. It stinks. You know.
yeah.
Um, Over here, I played a few things myself. I finally unboxed the XHL, and I'm making notes. I have some notes here. I'm not going to give them away, but I have notes on my little notepad here. And I'm coming up. I'm going to create my own XHL. I read the rules. It looks kind of neat, but I'm going to create my own hockey league using XHL. And when I get it done and play test it, I'll send out my rules to people to see if they want to play it. But this is something where I think you can have a heck of a lot of fun with this XHL. I
Oh,
really do.
I
I
agree.
think this could be super, super fun. And so I unboxed it. I got the mat. Keith actually sent me the mat, and he sent me a couple other things I did an unboxing on. So I have the nice new mat to use it.
Matt's beautiful.
And
Beautiful.
my idea is I think it comes with 20 teams. I think so.
Yes.
I'm gonna once I figure out how I want to play it and get the rules done, I'm gonna do a little show on the first 4 teams. We're going to start with 4 teams, and I think I'll set up some kind of situation where I roll dice and get percentages and see which teams make it, and maybe have like a bidding war. It just kind of so I can announce the first 4 teams. Just make it fun, and then after I play a short season, I'll have like an expansion draft or something like that, or expand to see who's going to expand. If any two teams are going to join, or any team's going to fold or move or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna get really, really fun.
And you
And
have those actual NHL players that you could or
there are some
not
you could put
draft.
in there. Yeah,
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 this
yeah.
team for each team.
There are some, and like Joe said, that's exactly you're supposed to do with the XHL. Yeah.
It's only
So
limited by your imagination, bro. That's it. You could just like do anything with that set.
yeah.
And
So
like
that
I've mentioned before, the mat reminds me of roller hockey. So that's in my head when I'm playing it. So I'm
so yeah.
curious
So
to
I'm
see
gonna
what
do
you come
something
up
with
with.
that. I did play some Apple hockey. I played some hockey bones. I played some payoff pitch, and I played some second season actually too. Second season football, and
I
that
thought I saw
I
you
forgot
play.
how fun that was.
It is.
I forgot how fun that was playing some second season. So
I forget. What
anyway,
teams did you play?
I played the first half of a game. I want to say it was Dallas and Houston. I think I did a Texas game,
Okay.
and I think it was what was that Buffalo. I played a couple of different games the second season actually in the last few weeks. So I've been in the football mood. That's why I'm kind of making this a football show here. But I did play second season. I
Yeah.
unboxed the XHL, Apple Hockey, Hockey Bones payoff pitch. So I continue my 1976 Red Sox season. Had a funny game. The Sox, when I was playing Texas, Sox went up 5-0 in the first inning. I'm like, oh well, this game's over. And by the fourth inning, Fergie Jenkins has blown the lead. We were tied at 5. And stupid Dave had a pitcher in for Texas that was fatigued, and I try to squeeze a couple of outs out of fatigue pitchers. I'm not
I did.
one. I'm not one to take a pitcher out as soon as he's fatigued, whether it's payoff pitch or app or a season ticket or strat. I don't think that's right. I think you're gaming the game at that point if you don't let a pitcher pitch fatigued.
Yeah.
Season ticket, I'm the worst. I will let that guy go. He'll be a 6 fatigue, which means that if you roll the
That's
600, you're
dangerous.
adding 60. Yeah, it is very dangerous, but only if you roll that 6.
Right.
And I let that guy go a long time, and I shouldn't, but I do. So season ticket, I'm really bad with that. But the payoff pitch, you have to roll on that fatigue card, and I left him in one batter too much. And Yastrzemski, I think I rolled on. I forget what I rolled on, but it changed the wheelhouse and it was a home run. So I was like, oh, I blew it. So, but then when I put the relief pitcher in, Freddie Lynn hit a home run off a fresh pitcher. So I didn't feel so bad at
There
that
you
point.
go.
So I think it was 7-5 Red Sox. But Red Sox are kicking it in my 76 replay. They really are. They are, 11-2 or something like that. And so that's pretty good. I've been really kind of enjoying that 76 season. And I did not a deep dive on payoff pitch, but I did kind of a small tutorial on how I play payoff pitch and how the game kind of works. And
Oh, I read
uh,
some good stuff on
I
how to
got a lot of
I
good
haven't had a
feedback
chance
on
to
that.
look at it yet.
I got a lot of good private messages from that it was a nice refresher, or somebody's like, oh, I played that wrong, or oh, it's fun to see this being played, or now I need to bring it out again. So anyway, I did that there. All right, so that's about all I've been playing. So why don't we get into the main part of the show? Let's talk some football, shall we? And yeah, I was supposed to go on with Dave Little tonight. Here he is right now. He was watching the Packers destroy the Lions, so he couldn't pull himself away. I was watching that. That was quite the game. The Packers looking pretty good without Rodgers. Christopher Hoffman's here, says he's playing some hockey blast. That's always fun. Andrew comes by as well, and so anyway, all right, so let's talk some football here, shall we? All righty. Oh, Larry says I did a good job in the payoff pitch tutorial the other night. Thank you, Larry, so much for saying that. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I'm glad it was helpful. All right. Now, so let me get back to the one thing you were saying. Remember you were saying you had this guy's card?
Red Grange.
Okay. That's the big argument for Apple football, is to have the cards or not have the cards. I was on team not have the cards for a long time. I was on team, give me the team sheet, I'm okay. Once you get that card in your hand, though, isn't that just it's hard to replace that feeling when you look at that individual
I don't even know how to
card.
describe the feeling.
It is weird, isn't it? It is weird.
Like I've told you before, I think originally that came with, I'm a hockey guy, but I do love football, retro, current game. I watched a little bit today, got a little into it. Anyway, I digress. It was the Bobby Orr card. As Strat Hockey came out, and that was the first hockey game. I didn't know Apple hockey. And I was like, wouldn't this be great? Now I got it from day one. I mean, I think my game was one of the first ones to arrive. Like I was sitting by the mailbox, ordered it right off the bat. Played a few years, a solo project. Man, wouldn't it be great to have Bobby Orr? Like I'm holding Guy Lafleur, my all-time favorite player.
Mm-hmm.
But where is Bobby Orr? And when you finally were able to do that, even though it was just 6 teams, like they came out with the computers. Okay, he's on the screen. Not the same.
Yeah,
it's not the same. It's just, and the game is everybody knows what that feeling is like.
Yeah.
Like even today, I'm going through the team. Bob Lilly for the Cowboys.
Oh yeah.
Bob Lilly. I mean,
yeah.
He was in my childhood. I remember as a kid, I think I was 7 years old on the couch watching the Ice Bowl with my oldest brother. I don't remember much of it. I just remember it was the Ice Bowl. I remember Bob Lilly.
Yeah. It is so fun, no matter what game it is, when you have the cards and you're going through the cards and you hold that single card with that guy that's special for you. When I had that Tom Dempsey card in my hand, for some reason, I love field goal kickers. Okay, I do. I've always been a big fan of field goal kickers. So Dempsey, for the longest time, and still kind of is, someone that sticks out in my mind.
Sure.
And so when I had the Tom Dempsey card for the Saints, that was just so cool. Yeah, that was so cool. And if he was just on a team sheet, okay, that's fine. It's great. But you're holding that card in your hand, and it's him by himself. It's not him on a sheet. It's him by him. And that goes for any game, whether it's a hockey, baseball, football, whatever. When you have that individual card in your hand, that's just, and you're looking at the card, it's just something special with that. And honestly, I don't know if there's another football game I would want to play with full cards, maybe Strat. So the games I play, like Second Season and Season Ticket and Solitaire Pro and Matchup and all those games with the team cards, I'm okay with that. I mean, that's how they are, and I'm okay with that. After playing Apple football with the individual cards, I wouldn't want to go team sheet.
Right.
Now, would it be nice to have the option for like defensive line team sheets and offensive line team sheets to cut down on costs and cut down on a lot of cards? That'd be a nice option.
Yep.
But I wouldn't want to get rid of the cards. Like I say, having that guy in your hand you were talking about. And as soon as you said that, it just struck something to me. It's like, I know, isn't it so cool when you pull out like the Jim Kelly card or something like that, or the Tom Brady card? I know you guys don't like it, but Tom Brady's big up here. To have the Tom Brady card,
Yeah, but even you pick him up to hate him. It's Tom Brady's card.
Yeah, yeah. When I
You
get
know what I
Kenny
mean?
Dryden card, when I was playing my 70-71 finals with Chicago and Montreal, and I played. I think it must have been Hockey Bones. The Hockey Bones app. I forget which one it was, and I rolled the one roll that would be an injury, and then I rolled again, and son of a gun, Dryden was out for the game,
Oh,
and
you're
so
never allowed to play with them again, ever.
so but it was like the one I rolled 3 dice, I think, and they all come out. I think it was Hockey Bones, and they all come out exact, and then you have to roll again and to get it, and I got that too. I was like,
Wow.
well, I said, so I took him out because I had Tony Esposito got hurt in one game, and I took him out too. So I had to be fair.
Right.
So, and I took Dryden out. The other goalie came in, whoever it was at the time. I don't know if it was Vachon or whoever it was, but he couldn't stop anything. And the Chicago ended up winning the game and winning the series. But yeah, Dryden got hurt, but his card. Have you seen the 1970 49 Quick Decks
I was
Montreal
just gonna
team with
say
Ken Dryden? I think he's a 10.
I was
He's
just
either a 9 or a 10. Okay. And when I was playing that game, I got the roll that bumped him up 1. So now I think he's like an 11 or 10 or an 11. I'm like,
yeah,
how are you supposed to score? I stopped playing. It's like
Yeah.
you can't score. There's no way you can score on him.
but
You got to
by
get
right-
in range for the shooter, and then you got to roll what 11 or 12 on a 12-sided dice to have a
by right
chance at
that
scoring.
season, he was only supposed to play in the playoffs. He didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is,
But
if you play those playoffs, he's unbeatable.
I remember when you brought it up and you showed it. I was like, oh, not scoring.
It's like not playing
I mean,
because I know who's going to win.
I loved him. But
I don't know how they
yeah.
even took that 7 games with that card. But anyway, yeah. So it's really kind of fun with that. And Paul comes by. Good to see you. Hope things are going well. Appa Chatter in the house as well. And Joe says he felt that way when he picked up the Walter Payton card. Oh yeah, there's another one.
Yep.
You know, I think I got the Earl Campbell card too. It's like, oh man.
Oh, another one
You
of
know,
my favorites.
And you know what's really fun is when you look at the Appa cards, because they're different than the numbers. But when you look at the card and you see a lot of Ks, and that means you go to the K column. That means
Right.
you're going to get a really good
Right.
result. Or you see a lot of 1s and 2s or whatever it is. It's like the hockey cards, like Ovechkin's card with all the 1s and the 2s. Those are all shots on goal. Like, oh my gosh, this card is.
Right.
It looks like a game of Minesweep, but it's all 1s, 2s, and 3s on
Right.
it.
And I didn't even go through all the great teams yet. I just sorted some of them.
Yeah.
Because we were preparing to get together today, me, Joe, and Phil. But took a little backward turn last night. I don't know what happened, but that's what happens when you get old. So I had to bail out. But I'm hoping to do it next Sunday. I'm going to talk to them about it. So I started going through those teams, the 86 Giants, and I was like, I got to pick 2 teams. Oh, these guys, Joe, blessed me with a Victor Wenzel complete field scoreboard.
Oh wow,
Dave,
is it nice? Yeah,
no, it's beautiful.
is it?
I got it upstairs on the table.
Oh,
It
nice.
saves so much room.
Doesn't it? Doesn't it?
Slides perfectly.
I got the Al Wilson one. I've had that he gave it to me last year in Canton. So I've had it over a year now. And those things, just like the Victor one, it saves you space. You can keep track of everything. I was doing it on pen and paper. And every time I crossed the 50, I messed up. If I gained 7 yards and I went over the 50, I just couldn't do it. So now I just count the little pegs, put my peg in. I know exactly where I am. And it's like, this is beautiful. This is
See,
beautiful.
mine has the slider, so I'm on the hash marks.
Oh, nice.
And let me tell you, Victor, I don't know how he does it. The first down marker is, I know they're out there, but I've seen a lot of that just missed, and I'm so anal. This is dead
Right on, yeah.
the hash marks.
Yeah,
So
nice.
now I'm just playing with it, sliding it around. And then he gives you all the AFC, AFL, NFL, NFC teams. So you put them in the slots. I'll show you a picture later. But
Yeah. I've seen pictures of them. Vic did a great job. I'm kind of bumming I didn't get to Canton this year because I would like to meet him and
oh my
see
God,
all his things and touch all his stuff that he makes.
he is a sweetheart. He really, really is. So yeah, Joe blessed me with that. Now, well, you know, me and Joe, we've gotten super, super tight. Like,
Yeah. You guys are having a good time. Yeah.
yeah, just a good.
Speak
good
of the
friend.
devil, Mr. Phil comes by.
Yeah, he's a
Good as-
slacker. I bet he didn't play today. Phil, did you play your APA today? I want an answer in that chat, Phil.
Yeah, and Tony says maybe single cards for the offensive line and guy and subs. Yeah, I think they have a nice option to take some of the guys that you really, really don't. Like, although the receivers are kind of weird too, because you don't really roll on their card except for a fumble or something, or the occasional rare passes, whatever. But I don't know. I still like having the cards. I know it's a lot of cards and it's more money, but just having that, you can do an as played now. Could you just lay out the cards, and you're like, okay, you, and you, and instead of looking at the team sheet and trying to figure it out, you have the card on the table and just. It's beautiful. I really do like that. So
Yeah.
so one of the things that's really kind of fun about some of these football games, especially the Appa and the Strat, is have that card in your hand.
Yeah, Strat
I,
has all the skill plays, and I
yep.
love that. You feel like uh, I started, he's still going. I'll get no surprise there, Phil. It's going to take us some time. Anyway, you have like Bob Hayes. He's on my tabletop now, and you're only using his rating. You're not using his numbers. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's one game that does it that way.
Yep.
Strat, you see all the long game
Yeah.
possibilities,
Yeah.
and then you see the guys who are efficient. Like I remember Steve Largent card. He didn't have long games, but he caught everything.
Yeah.
His numbers were incredible. It's just something about having those plays. But I can see what Tony's saying 100%. 100%. I remember playing Strat, and I can't think of the first play that it hit me where I wish they had. Like, yeah, he's out there on the defense. When you're playing advanced, he's out there.
Yeah.
That square is out there. So when LT or Richard Dent or guys like Ronnie Lott, my all time defensive player, are on that board, it's like having them. But it's just not like holding the card. I
It's
can't
hard to
explain it.
describe. It
Yeah.
was. It's hard to describe. And when you hold the card in your hand, it's something special. But no matter who it is,
Yeah.
even if it's on defense, even if it's a guy that's just going to sit there in my defensive pile over here, I like that they put in Appa, they put some of the ratings on it for sacks and things like that, so you can actually go through it and find who sacked the guy. And sometimes if it's a fumble, I go through and pull the guy out, and is he going to return the fumble, or the
Mhm.
interception, or whatever it is? I don't know. I think it's kind of fun. The hottest thing about the Appa football is just getting used to the symbols that they use. They use some weird symbols on the cards. And as I talked about earlier, I suggest everybody, if when you play your first game at Appa, go to Pro Football Reference, go to the game you want to play, and that gives you the starting lineup, and it shows you everybody who caught the ball or ran the ball, and pull those guys out. It even shows you the kicker, the punter, and who returned them. And if you pull out the punter, let's say Ray Guy, okay, you don't have to go and look for the guy that's got the PA or the
No,
PB, whatever it is.
it's the
You pull out
fastest
Ray
way to
Guy.
set up.
When you pull out Ray Guy and you look at his card, it'll say
Right,
PA or PB. Okay.
right.
Sometimes you'll have a kicker. Let's just say whatever, you Errol Man or whatever. Maybe he was the field goal kicker that day, and you look and it says KB. Well, KB is your backup kicker,
Right.
but that day he was your kicker. Right, the other guy wasn't field goal kicking. Whoever that other kicker was, okay, he wasn't field goal kicking that day. So you can almost even ignore the symbol on the card, because whether it's KA or KB, because he's kicking. The only thing you can't do is you just can't have a wide receiver or something like that kick, because the K column is not designed for that.
Right.
But as far as like looking at, I'm all confused with the symbols. What's this OA, OB, OC? Just look who returned it. So if this guy returns it, he returned all the kicks that day. You look at it, as long as he's got an O on there, O, A, B, or C,
Yep.
he's going to return some kicks, and that card is designed for that.
Yep. I looked at the depth charts and I looked at the punt and kick returns. That's all I needed.
Yeah.
Just boom, boom, boom. Well, here's their name. Here's their names. Now put the positions out and add them up.
Do you know what I do for kick returns when I play Appa? Is I look to see who got the most kick returns, and then the second most kick returns. And that's my A and my B.
Exactly.
That's for that game. That's my A and B. Even if the cards are reversed, even if this guy Joe returned most of the kicks that year, and he was my primary kick returner,
Right.
and Vinny was my backup. That game, Vinny returned more kicks, so Vinny is my primary that
And I
game.
bet I took one to the house.
You probably did. Not sure which house, but it was a house.
Maybe
So,
no
but that's
more.
how I
Mom
do
just
it, and
like the house.
it just makes it so easy to set up, because that way you're not concerned with the symbols and finding who's your primary guy, who's not. Who did it in that game?
Right.
Really, who's your kicker? Who's your returner?
And you don't have to do it as played. You love as played. I get it.
Yep.
You can go to the full stats. You don't
Oh,
have
yeah.
to go individual
Yep.
box score. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So there's many ways you can do that.
Way faster
Yep.
than trying to figure it out yourself in the beginning.
Yep.
Yep.
Now, as far as some other football games, so I have to say this. I actually, uh, I was texting ST the other day. I think it was last night, Saturday night, because I was at the rink. I did a 14-hour day, and I was tired. As again, my season started, and so I come home from New Hampshire from doing a couple games in New Hampshire, and I'm sitting down and I'm watching college football as I like to do late at night. you know, was Oklahoma beat Grambling like 70-0, right? They got 10 touchdowns. So I fired off a text to ST. I said, ST, I says, do you have any really bad college teams so I can get a 70-0 score?
Oh
I
yeah.
says that would get me to play college football because I'm not a big college guy. I'm just not. But I says if I could play a game where we could get a game like that, just to kind
Oh
of
yeah.
test it out. And he says, I have some of that. I said, you do? He's like, yeah, I got a couple of bad teams. So it's like, okay, now I'm interested. Now, because I don't know college well, but I would love to play a really good team against a really bad team and see what that score would be. Because
Well, you know how
college
they
is
play
nuts.
interdivision, right? So you
Yeah.
have an FBS team plays FCS teams.
See, the thing is, I don't even know what that means.
Okay,
That's
just
how
the
much that
conferences they play. But
I don't know that. So for me, it doesn't mean anything because I just don't follow it.
right,
But
right.
if I can take Oklahoma against Northern Acorn West and they just destroy them, I would enjoy that game. I'm
You know,
sorry, I just would.
possible. It's possible.
And so I said okay, I got to find out your worst teams. I want to find your worst teams so I can play one of these good teams and just kind of have a matchup like that. That would draw me to college football. I'm
I mean,
sorry.
it could happen. It could happen. They're out there for
So I
sure.
did send ST a note last night while I was out late watching college football, and I says, okay, I need to do something like that. And then I also says, any chance of just creating a couple of NFL teams just so I can get this on the table and enjoy it? Because again, the college is not my thing, but I would play a smash game, and I would play if he just had a couple of NFL teams because I like the engine. I just I can't relate to the college teams. It's just not my thing.
Yeah, you've always said that too, and I get it.
And I
Me,
feel bad about it. I feel bad about it, but that's just honestly just like I don't play boxing games.
right, right.
I just don't play boxing games. It has nothing to do. I really
And I
don't want
love
to.
it. I
I
love
don't
it.
want to do anything with that.
I love the
Um,
sport what it used to be. Not so much now, but
and let's see here.
well, you guys
Paul
are
says,
asking questions.
yeah, Paul says, for someone like me or most non-US, we are mostly novices when it comes to football tactics and play. So the team card games make it less overwhelming and accessible for us. Yes, it does. Yep, and that's why it's great. A second season, a season ticket, Solitaire Pro. Those games
But
are great. They really are.
that I got a card of Ron Lancaster, CFL quarterback, Hall of Fame, one of the best, would definitely resonate with him.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and I could see that because even when I play the CFL games, and if there's cards, it's like that is so cool because I have that CFL game. What's the name of it?
Now he says he's watched football since 1980, but compared to the U.S. guys, he's a novice. Yeah, I can see how football would be kind of weird. But the thing is, though, if you go to the Pro Football Reference and you just put in the starting lineup, and then look at anybody else that carried the ball or caught the ball, put them on your table, and those are the guys you use. Didn't you say, okay, inside run to this guy? You look at the inside run chart. Outside run to this guy. Outside run. I don't know anything about defenses, about the flex this or the Tampa 2. I couldn't tell you anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't need to know it to play some of these games. I just kind of
No.
roll the dice and look at it. And
It's all built in.
yeah, in Apper, I call my own plays. In other games, season ticket and second season and Solitaire Pro and even the 49 Quick Text football from Grant. I like how the game calls the play for you and you can kind of follow that along and then modify it if you need to on a third and long or late in the half or whatever. So, I mean, different games do different things. And I like, maybe because I'm accustomed to what they do and how they do it, that I'm okay with how they do it.
No, it's,
Because they're very different games. App is very different from season ticket, which is different from this, which is different from that. And there's reasons why I play all these different games because they do
Right.
different things.
What's
Some
about what you're
set
in the mood for?
some set up really fast,
Yes.
right? And then there's some others that take a while to set up, but they just do something a little bit different. And
Mhm.
so that's what I kind of like with that.
Yeah, if I'm
Let's
looking
see.
easy going, then I'm going to play, because to me, season ticket football is easy going.
Hmm.
Matchup college football to me is easy going now. I mean, it's like breathing to me. But if I want a little more and I don't mind, and I'm going to play this app of football, or I'm going to
Yeah.
play, even second season, because it takes a while.
Yeah.
But the setup is no time at all.
Yeah.
So
Right. Yes. There's no
it's
setup
whatever
to.
you're in the mood for.
Yeah.
Sometimes my brain can't handle certain things at
I'm the
certain
same
times.
way. I have my late at night games, and I have my games that I okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for this. Let's go. And
Right.
Gus says that the play symbols for cold snap are kind of tough. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Gus, when I play second season, I play the basic mode, and I don't really follow along with a lot of those symbols. I just kind of play right out of the box and not worry about the airplanes or whatever it is. I just play, and for me, it's not a big deal because I'm not looking to play a season and
Right.
try to get exact stats. I'm just trying to play and enjoy the game.
Right. And it works.
So I'm not breaking the game by doing that.
No, and it
Let's
works
see.
fine.
Drew comes in. Hi, Drew. He says, any games that do a good job converting cards to digital? I don't have room anymore for cards. I would say probably the Stratomatic football. It's a good cards and dice football game, and you can even read the cards on the screen.
Yeah, I play. Well, I run a league online, and I play in a league online. So, yeah, I mean, I like playing that way, head
I
to
don't know
head,
if there's any other game I can think of that's a cards and dice football game that's on a computer. I think
inside
that's
blitz, but I don't think you see the cards.
you do see the cards in Inside Blitz.
You do?
Yeah, Inside Blitz from Inside Sports. Yeah.
Okay.
What you do with that one is you kind of just clicking on the results. So you actually are playing it on the thing. I actually kind of like that
Oh,
one.
right, like their hockey game.
Yeah, like the hockey
Okay.
game. I like the hockey game too. I actually forgot about Inside Blitz. I haven't played that in a while. I probably forgot how to play, but that was kind of fun too because it calls the play automatically, and you're just kind of clicking on the results. So half the fun of that game is trying to figure out what the result is and clicking on the result and then getting the result on that. And I've had some fun with that one too.
Yeah, I
I've had some
found it
fun with that
taught
one.
me the board game.
Yeah, yeah, I can see how it would do that.
You know.
What's great about the computer games for Inside Sports is they do the calculations for you a lot of the times. So with a hockey game, if it's like loose puck in the corner, right wing versus left defense +4, it adds that 4 in, so you don't have to think about it. And so when you look at the screen, oh, this has already got the 4 added to it. That they're going to win the battle. So I do like
Right.
that.
Right.
Um, and James comes by. Hi, James. He says, I used to play Nagamco football, 76, 77. And he had USC run up 80 points on a bad Ivy League team. Now I need
Nice.
to play that game.
Nice. We had it with the old Strat College sets, 86, 87, 88. They came out with 48 teams.
Really?
And there were always, I think, 4 Ivy League teams. So have at it if you if you wanted to.
I know. I gotta figure
Playing
what.
against each other was fun, but the print on them, Dave, it's a shame they didn't redo that the
Yeah.
way that engine. Because the old version was just not for me. But that's those 3 seasons that they did were great, but the print on them, it's just very, very small for me to look at now.
That's too bad. Yeah.
So,
Let's see here. And I said Grant would probably make a couple of college teams for him. Yeah, I need to get back to Grant's game. I did enjoy. I played that was about a year ago. I really enjoyed that. Cutter says the only football game I touch is 2nd and 10 on the PC. Yeah, that's not
excellent
really
game.
a cards and dice game.
No,
It's still very fun though.
no,
Um,
but it's a great game.
the thing that drove me nuts about that game was I was always I would play a couple of plays and I would sit guys because I was so concerned about the rest.
I knew you were going to say that.
You know what I mean? And I told Juckett that too. And Ron's like, you don't have to keep taking guys in and out. Yeah, but if they play too much, then they're going to be tired late in the game. I says, yeah, but it's the first quarter. You'll have plenty of time. I was like, no, I can't do this. So yeah. So and then I found that if I threw to somebody twice and that was it, then their grade dropped down. I'm like,
Yeah.
I've only thrown them a couple of passes.
Yeah.
What's up with that? So there was a couple little things that with that game that I couldn't quite figure out.
Because the usage is everything per game.
It's a mini game, which is kind of neat, but at the same time, I'm not sure if I really enjoyed that in my football game. I'd rather play, like I say, a second season or second 10 or an apper and either call my own plays and do my own usage or flip the card to tell me what's going to happen with that,
Joe just no, go ahead, go.
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah.
Grand Finds 49 football. I have
Yeah,
it.
I have it. CFL.
Yep, I like it very much.
Mhm.
It's I don't want to say difficult. That's not the right word, but it's a thinking man's game. There's a lot of thinking to it, and you're gonna really work your brain. And
It's
Grant
more about
has,
having to pay attention, I think, buddy.
yeah,
It's more about really having to know what you're reading. But once you learn the pattern or whatever it is, the mechanism of what you have to go through, it
yeah,
plays easy. Like
yeah.
I could get it on the table right now, and there's not much I'll have to refer to the rule book, and I haven't played it much.
I would have to go and revisit that. But Grant has said that he built that game engine specifically to make you think. Because he says as we get older, we use our brain less. He goes, I wanted to use our brain more, and he said that about this game.
Right.
And so I'm not saying anything out of line here.
No, that was
And
the conversation we had last night with these kids. I was out with all these kids for this bachelor party, I tell you, at an arcade, and then later we're eating. And I'm like, I don't really do the video games. What you saw today, 4 hours playing, like I told you, Madden and NHL. My neck was broke.
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah,
I tried to explain to them how I play board games. I'm always going to try it. And my dear friend, whose son-in-law, is the one it was his bachelor party for, they know about the games I play. But I told them the reason you guys aren't even here yet is because I need to have brain exercise.
yeah,
I
yeah.
have to. And besides the fact that board game is much more, for me, satisfying,
Hmm.
sense of accomplishment every time you play. I embrace every fast action card, every dice roll,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So yeah, Grant's 100% right.
yeah. And so when you play this game, just to give you an idea, you're flipping cards. So I think you roll the dice to get the play, depending on the down and distance in the team. Everyone's got their own little card they read off of to see what they're going to do. So now you know if you're going to, I think there's a couple of inside runs. I think there's inside and there's like
Mhm,
off tackle and then there's
mhm.
outside. So
You're
there's quite a
stretching.
variety of plays that you can run. I think there's 4 different runs.
Yes.
And then you got at least 3 different passes,
Oh, it's
maybe
more than
4.
that.
I forget what, but
Yeah,
so you get the play, and then you start flipping cards, and you see what's going to happen on the run, and then what's going to if it's a pass, you check to see if there's any pressure on the quarterback, and there's 2 different pressures.
that's my
Th-
favorite part of
There's
the
a
game.
pressure roll from the defense and a pressure roll on the quarterback, and you got to know when to use the different pressure rolls, and then you see if he escapes, and then if there's no pressure, see if he makes the pass. And it's all flipping cards one after another, and there's a lot of thinking. It's like, oh man, I mean, I got it for some reason. When I started reading the directions and playing it, I said, boy, this is really difficult, but I get it. I can see the path. And there's some games I don't see the path.
Yeah,
And
it happens to
no matter how
everybody.
easy they are, it's like I'm not seeing this. It's not clicking with me. The 49 football clicked with me very, very, very much.
Yes.
And so I enjoyed that so much there. And yeah, just like 49 quick deck talk. Yeah, that took me a little bit. I wrestled with that for a bit. I think I was overthinking it, but when I went back and played a couple of games, it all just kind of made sense. It,
Yeah,
it really did. It
and
it
you
all
know
made
that.
sense.
We've discussed it here quite a few times that some people pick up, heart surgery faster than others. Some people pick up, the complex game
Yeah, yeah,
faster than others. Some just it clicks. It just
yep,
clicks. Like
yep.
matchup clicked for me. I don't think I asked him more than 3 questions with that game.
Really,
I don't know why, but it just clicked. It was just I don't know. It was for me. Other games, they confuse you in spots. I don't know. Maybe you look too deep into it. I don't know. But everybody's different. Everybody's brain works differently, and once you figure it out,
yep,
the good thing is there's so much help out there. People that are wonderful,
yep.
wonderful.
Yeah, and that's what I too I like about playing cards and dice, which I like to play more now than the computer games, is it makes you think. You have to roll the dice and figure out what happens, and you're thinking, and I do enjoy that. Even late night APA Basic, which is the simplest game,
Yeah.
you're still thinking a little bit.
Isn't it good after you come home, Dave? You have like, listen, you run a hockey league. I can't imagine doing what you do. And you have one of those days. You come home. You can't help but focus on the game you're playing.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? You can't help focus on that game. Otherwise, you can't play it.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, everything that went on before that didn't matter. Now you're entrenched into this game. I think it's just a wonderful
And
hobby.
and as fun as I have playing some of my computer games, I do have fun playing my computer games. Having something on the table and focusing on that and figuring out for yourself, there's just something completely relaxing about just sitting here and pulling out the cards of the team sheets and rolling dice.
Hmm.
There's something very, very fun about that
Yep.
that I don't get from a computer game. Now, the helpers are different because the helpers aren't doing anything but keeping track of my stacks and
Hmm.
logging what I'm doing. Like I played I used a digital diamond last night for my payoff pitch game. And frankly, I don't even look up at the screen. I'm looking down, I get my result, and I just punch in the code and hit enter. And I don't really look at what's going on the screen. But at the end of the day, I look up and it does it does from time to time. I will forget like who's batting because it's that's 3 outs. I look at the
Oh,
screen. It's
that
like
guy hit for a cycle?
it's like wait, why is this guy up? Like, oh, because I didn't change. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a bat.
Yeah.
Or sometimes like last night, I think I read off the wrong pitcher. I was reading off the Texas was batting. I was reading the Texas pitcher card, and I did that for a few batters. I'm like, oh man, it's like, well, it
Oh,
happens.
well, is the answer.
Yeah, just you don't beat yourself up over it. You just keep on going.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it is fun. There's something special too about learning a game, especially a new game. We've talked about this before on the show. Is there's a I don't know what the word is, a satisfaction of
Yeah.
conquering a new game.
I'm going through it now with the Apple football.
And when it starts to work and you get it moving, you're like, oh man, this is great. I just learned a new game. And there's nothing worse than when you don't get it and you throw it off to the side. You feel like you failed. And I don't like that feeling. I like to know that I conquered a game. I
Right.
figured out how to play this game one way or another. I'm playing it and I'm having a good time with it. And it's just such a good feeling when you
Yes.
because you can, okay, what is this? I'm reading the direct. Oh, how do I make this? And then all of a sudden you figure it out, and it feels like you solved the puzzle. And like,
Yeah.
oh man, that it just feels so nice,
I mean, I got that with the I'm going through it now with the Appa football. I want to stay on football, but I got that with the Grants games
Yeah,
because they would look like so daunting to me. And then he sent me that playthrough, and then I'm like, oh, this is great. And I think it's a great, great football game. And
yeah.
I
I
love
need to pull it
PFL as
back
well.
out. I did enjoy that. I need to pull that one back out
Now, I
now.
got to
We're in
tell
football.
you, we talked about the pressure in his games, sacks. Is it pressure from the defense? Is the quarterback? It's making me want to buy NFL seasons because that, like, I want to see Josh Allen scrambling out of the pocket. I want to see Fran Tarkenton running
Oh
that way.
yeah, yeah,
I want to see Randall Cunningham. I love running quarterbacks. I always did.
yeah,
So I'm more than likely going to buy some NFL seasons from because I think his game handles the pass rush,
yeah,
pressure situation.
yeah.
I'll say it better than any other game.
It does a really, really good job. It
It's
really does.
unbelievable. You could
Yep,
feel it when it's happening. You roll the dice.
yep.
Is the quarterback going to throw it away? Is he going to throw an interception? Is he going to take off and run? Did the line help avoid a sack? It's pretty good. It
It does
really
a
is.
yeah, it does a fantastic job. It's fun. It's a well thought out game, and how you even think about creating a game that requires that much thought. I don't know. I don't know how you do it, but he
No,
figured it out,
not
and
my
just
thinking.
yeah, it's beyond mine too. I mean, I figured out how to play it. I couldn't have created a game like that. Barbara chimes in and says, "I was so worried when I started playing cards and dice, I would not be able to retain the info.
Nah,
It has been a long time, but I've been able to learn real fast."
she's smart. She's not stupid.
Well, the thing is, she just started playing. I think she started with the hockey game. I think,
Yeah,
right?
highlights. Yeah,
Yeah, and
quick
and
catch highlights.
and then she went into strat
No.
baseball, and
Oh
now
yeah,
she's playing payoff pitch.
yeah, she's showing off.
And she took the payoff pitch easier than the other two. And you know why? Because I told her today, I says, you are getting used to the cards and dice way of thinking.
Right.
When she first played Grant's hockey game, which is not a hard game, but for your first cards and dice game, that was a pretty big jump. But now she's used to rolling dice, looking at the dice, getting the dice. That took me a long time. When I was rolling dice back, I didn't realize you couldn't roll 27 with two 6-sided dice.
Right.
Seriously,
I get
don't
it.
think you're thinking base 10, and you're like, okay, 26 plus 2 is 27, 28. Nope. There's no 28 when you're rolling six-sided dice.
Right.
It's
Right.
and so you got to get used to that. But once you, like I say, once you start playing, the more cards and dice games you play, the easier they are because you're used to what you're doing.
Right. The biggest problem I think as gamers go is the more games you play, you kind of get and you're looking to learn a new game, you read into that new game just a little too much. Was it like this game? Doesn't this game handle? We talked about it today with the field goals. What
Yeah.
happened with football?
Yep.
Every game adds to the play before you roll for the kick.
Hmm.
No, it's the line of scrimmage, the 29-yard line. It's the 29-yard field goal. If they make it, you add whatever area you're playing,
I think
7 or
that's the
7.
only game I've ever played that's done it from the line of scrimmage.
I can't argue with you. I
And
believe you're
I
right.
was not playing in that way for the longest time, and I forget who it was. I want to say it was Jeff that said no field goals. You read the chart from the line of scrimmage, and that way there, you don't have to worry about adding. Is it adding 7? Is it adding 17? It's just whatever the line of scrimmage is, and the kicker cards
Mhm.
are all fine tuned to that result chart.
Right.
So your longer kickers will hit the longer ones, and then the other ones won't, and the accurate ones will hit a little bit more. And so once I wasn't hitting any field goals at all because I'm looking, okay, I'm on the 30-yard line. It's a 47-yard. It's like, forget it. Look at the 47 chart. Forget it. The 47 chart is actually 64 because I'm adding 17.
Right.
So yeah, so once I started rolling on the line of scrimmage, now I was hitting normal field goals. And I was like, okay, now this makes more sense. So yeah, so I did that wrong. And so, but it's so much easier because you don't have to add. You just kind of, where am I? And then you add it after to determine what the length actually was.
Yeah, it's
So
incredible. The game could be so easy in so many areas, and then they go with these symbols like W for interception.
yeah, it messes you up. It really
A
does.
little bit.
But now after I played, a game or two, when I see F something, I know it's a fumble. When
Right.
I see W, I know it's an interception, and it's like, oh, this is going to be picked off.
Right.
I still think what's great about APA football with the fumbles is that you don't know who's going to recover that.
Right. And the
There's been a
return.
time that I've had a quarterback hit in the end zone. I think it was Tom Brady hit in the end zone.
Sounds good already.
Or Grogan, one of the two. It was New England. I think it was Grogan. He was hit in the end zone and fumbled. And when I looked at the fumble, it said minus 103, which I think was like the center or the left tackle actually recovered the fumble. So how I play is everybody gets a 50-50 chance at returning a fumble. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you return one or not. I don't like games that punish you for not doing something in real life. That's just me. So if you recovered a fumble but just didn't return it, then you can't do that in the game. I don't like that.
Yeah, in real life, you're in the end zone. You're going to try and get that ball in that end zone.
That's what I'm saying. So no matter where the ball is, the defense is going to try to scoop that up and run.
Right.
Not all
And
the
the
time. They're going to
offense wants to
try.
get the heck out.
And so just because Lawrence Taylor didn't return a fumble that season, does it mean that he didn't try?
Right. Or that he
And I know in the computer game, you can cap the runs and the receiving by their longest for that season.
Yeah.
I don't want what happened in real life to affect my table. I want my table to determine what their longest is.
Right.
Now, do I want a guy, running 100 yards every time? No, I don't want anything stupid like that. But I don't like it being nerfed or throttled. I want to, so I roll the decider die. Everybody gets a 50-50 chance at returning a fumble. So this lineman who picked up the ball 1 yard deep or on the goal line, whatever it was, I rolled and he got to return it. And when I rolled on the return, I think he got 2 yards.
Boom.
So he scooped up the fumble and fell forward out of the end zone to avoid the safety. I thought that was pretty damn cool.
Right.
And I have so many damn cool moments in that game, despite all its flaws with symbols and stuff. But once you get used to those symbols, the F's and the W's,
right, right.
I don't even think about it now.
No,
I really don't.
I
you
know
know.
now W is an
But
innocent.
I fought that. I did. If you look at my earlier videos, I fought those symbols. What is this? And this is stupid. Or what is that? Or what is this? And then when you realize, well, that's just how they do it.
Mhm.
That's just how they do it. So just go with it, you know. And they have a whole index
They have the
ab-
glossary that yeah.
about
Yep.
what is a K, what is a KO,
Yep.
you know, what is a P, what is a T, what is a what is a this? It's all there.
Right.
And some people fight that and hate it and just throw the game away. And other people just they play it and they boy, this is a fun game. And despite these letters, which are weird,
They're missing out on a fun game
I
if they
think they
try to
are.
play.
I think they are. I think they are. Joe
And like
says
anything else, the more you play it, the more you're gonna remember those symbols, so
it's like every game.
exactly.
Every game's got a couple of quirks that you can either hate on or you can just get used to it and play.
Right.
You know, Joe also says, speaking of football, let's not forget Al Wilson's working on a fact deck for his fast drive football game. Yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah.
I did hear that.
Telling you that was his reveal in Canton.
Yeah, I'm interested in that. I see Gus also says his 55 season, the quarterback is lucky to get a pass off. There's pressure because the ratings are so high. It makes it fun.
Yep, yep.
Oh,
And it's realistic.
I would imagine. Yeah. Just trying to make that happen. It's gonna be kind of fun.
Gotta get Otto Graham out there, Gus, right?
Yeah.
Unless
Yes.
he's playing CFL.
The other thing I want to do is you talked about getting some stuff from Chris there.
Oh,
I got my eye on a couple of USFL sets. They got the two USFL seasons. I really, man, I'm really
fun
tempted to
week.
pull the trigger on one of those.
I could
His
see
cards
that.
are so nice. It's a little pricey for those seasons there, but part of me is like, man, I'd like to play some Flutie or some who was the running back that was really good in the USFL?
Oh, what's his name? I just asked,
Didn't he go to Atlanta? I think in the NFL.
well, I thought Marcus Dupree played in the CFL too, but
Who was the
no,
really, really, really good running back?
Mike Pringle
No, it wasn't
is
him.
the more recent guy that was record breaking. He was
I don't know. He might have played on Flutie's team. Herschel Walker.
oh no,
Maybe.
he played for the Generals. Yes,
Yeah.
Herschel
So
Walker
Herschel
and
Walker.
Maurice
Yeah.
Carthon.
It would be fun to get Herschel Walker on the table.
There's
With
another one that popped up. Apachata just said Kelvin Bryant was really a stud in
yep.
the USFL, and
The
he was
USFL is
an NFL player.
kind of like the WHA. There's a sprinkle full of guys that would be kind of fun to play.
But Herschel's the face, the name,
Yeah.
man of the yeah. I remember him and Carthon rushed for 1,000 yards the same season.
Yeah.
In the Generals.
And Gus says Fast Drive football is a fun football game. Yeah, Fast Drive is kind of fun. It's kind of like second season light. It really is. Back in the chat here. And Joe, when you post on Facebook for your 50s Fast Drive football games, where do you find the game day programs? Yeah, I'm not sure about that either. You want to see Tom Brady lose to the Giants? Yeah, he did. He lost to the Giants, but he also won 7 Super Bowls. Just saying.
Did he win 7?
He won 6 with New England, and then one with Tampa. Imagine that. That is nuts.
Wow. Imagine if he was allowed to get hit though. He wouldn't have lasted.
Yeah, this is true. You ever see the clips from the 70s and those quarterbacks getting
But
murdered
he
out
was
there?
great. I'm not going to take away our talent.
But the thing was though is he knew when to throw it away. If he felt the pressure, he just threw it at the ground, and that's why he never got hit.
He was accurate.
He didn't like you look at Mahomes. Mahomes is it's like he's going to get murdered someday.
Yeah.
You know, just one of these line. There was a play, I think it was in one of the Super Bowls or a playoff. He spun around and he turned to go in the. It's like if there was someone coming the other way at full blast, they would have went right through him and just boom, he would have been Charlie Brown. But luckily, nobody was there, so he just runs and guns. It's like that wasn't Brady's thing. Brady's you're gonna hit me? Nope. See ya.
Yeah.
and that's what you do, you know. Like Jerry Cheevers, when Jerry Cheevers played net and Bobby Hull wound up, Jerry Cheevers got out of the way. You can have the goal, but I'm not getting hurt.
Right.
Same kind of thing, right? Barbara says she's loving payoff pitch. Yeah, I kind of thought you might. It's a little more difficult than some of the other games, but
yeah, but it's so
you stick with it.
hard.
It's not too bad,
so
you know.
Good. It's a good
You know,
game.
and yes, and Barbara did start out with Strat, which is a segue to playing more cards and dice. Yeah, and that was a great game to start with. You know, is the Strat basic? It really was. That was a good way to get used to rolling and looking at the cards and getting results. It really is. You know.
You know, that's a good question.
Yep.
Your
And,
opinion. The easiest, not a fast play. The easiest full play football game you would suggest to someone like Barbara or a gamer who's just starting out? What
Okay,
would
so
it be?
if I'm going to suggest um,
Full play.
full play football game, oh,
Would it be strap basic?
no, no. What would I do for? I would probably say solitaire pro
I
football.
thought you might. Okay.
If you're talking ease of play,
Yes. Easiest to learn.
is there's no dice. It's all fast action cards. You flip the card to see what the play call is going to be, and then you flip the card, to find out what's going to have what defense is, and then you flip. So for a run, for example, you flip it, it's going to be a run. You flip it, it's going to be Tony Dorsett. The defense is a B, which is a -1. So then you flip for the run, and it says average +2. So Tony Dorsett averages 3 +2 is 5. The defense is a -1. It's a 4-yard run. And that's how easy that is. And the passing, what's good about solitaire pro football is it requires the quarterback and the receiver. So if it's going to be a short pass and the quarterback's a 5 and the receiver's a 6 or whatever, that's going to be an 11. The defense will probably subtract from that, and then you flip the card to see what number is a completed catch. And so you use the quarterback and the receiver in solitaire pro.
Nice.
But I find that game, it's an older game, and there's only one run and 2 passes, so there's not a lot of variety because it's all kind of baked into the game.
Yeah, my imagination takes care of that.
Yeah, mine does too. When I see that, it's going to be an average run plus this, or sometimes you get a breakaway. Oh, that's so, he sees the opening and you flip to see, how many yards he's going to get. Does he get through that hole? Oh, no, he doesn't, or yes, he does. And the game is all just fast action card driven. It's all you do is keep flipping the cards to get the results. And even Ron plays that game. Ron can play that game too, and he enjoys it.
Okay.
I think it's the fastest of the full play games. Not
I
that
keep saying I was going to give it a shot. I might go.
and it's all PDF.
It's cheap.
Yeah, the one thing that kind of stinks, you do have to print out the fast action cards and cut them up. But once you do it once, that's it. You're done.
There's a few decks. And you said
I think you can get
a.
I have two different decks. I have 2 different decks, yeah, and so I print them and cut them up. You just take one night and do that, get that out of the way, and then everything else is team sheets. There's a couple of charts. I think there's like a breakaway chart and something else you got to look at. But the penalties are fairly easy to figure out. A field goal kicking is fairly easy. It's a very basic game. It's an older game, but it's very basic and it's very fun. So that would be the full play game I would suggest to start with.
Okay.
Okay, and then from there, you can go into your Strata, your app, or your season ticket. Or second season is another one too. I should say that second seasons is probably another easy game to play.
If you avoid all the extra symbols.
Yeah, if you ignore the symbols
Right.
to start.
And they're optional. They are.
Yeah, they are. They just fine tune things a little bit. But yeah,
Mhm.
if you played second season as well, that would be one I would suggest, which is team sheets, and it's just a big book that you flip through. That's going to take you longer because it says flipping and looking
Yes.
around, and sometimes you get 3 or 4 dice rolls to get the final
Yes.
result. So that would probably be the second one I would try if we're
How
going.
long is season ticket? I mean, solitaire.
I want to say I could play that hour to 15, hour and a half.
That's a good time for a full play game.
Whereas all the other ones are easily over 2 hours.
Yeah, like somebody.
Season ticket, I think, is a little quicker too. A season ticket might be, for me, hour and a half to hour 45, probably less than 2. Everything else is over
I
2.
think season tickets the fastest I play, but yeah, somebody asked, they want to get a game an hour and 15, and I don't know any full play games that do it. Zillion fast play games, but quick play games.
Solitaire pro football might be the only game you could do it that quick. Because
Okay.
look at it this way, and I've said this so many times. When people start complaining about the length of a football game, okay, and I'm just going to change the scene here just to kind of mix it up. You're playing roughly, what do we got here? 60 plays a half, so 120
Mhm.
plays a game, right?
Mhm.
Not including your kicks, your punts, and your extra points and penalties and all that. So if you do 120 plays plus, if it takes you a minute to resolve that play, it's 120 minutes. It's 2 hours.
Right.
So, I mean, you can't watch 60 minutes in a half hour. It takes you 60 minutes to watch 60 minutes. That's why it's called 60 minutes,
Right.
as the old joke says. Um, but you're running 120 plays. So how long does it take you to do one play?
Right.
So that's what it comes down to. So whatever game you play, Apostrat, second season, all the ones we talked about, how fast can you do a play? I find Solitaire Pro, I can flip and do a run in 15 or 20 seconds and then be on
Okay.
to my next play. So it doesn't take me a minute to do all that or anything like that. So
Okay.
for me, that's the fastest game just because of I can do a play in under a minute. But any other game is going to take you, 30, 40, 50 seconds to
Right.
get that result of that play, whether you're flipping a chart or you're rolling dice or you're rolling, dice over and over and over, whatever it is, it's going to take you some time.
And you know me, that's not a factor for me. I just was curious for the people in the chat. Somebody had asked, and so I helped to give them some ideas and all. But football games to me,
Yeah. Don't go
I'm
into a
in it.
football game worried about time. If you're
Yeah.
going into a football game worried about time, then you want to play either a quick play game or a drive-by-drive game. You want to play,
Right.
the fast drive football. You want to play game-winning drive. You want to play
Right.
momentum football. Family football from Mike Gibbrell.
Oh,
You
that's
know,
a fun game.
oh yeah, they're all just kind of quick drive games, and I love them. I almost pulled out momentum football today. I had the itch to play some football, but I didn't want to play a 2 hour game, so I said maybe I'll pull out some momentum football. It's kind of one of my favorite drive-by-drive games. I just kind of like that, and I never got to it today. I ended up watching some football. We went out to eat or whatever, but if you go into a football game and you're worried about the time, then don't play a full play game because you're just going to
Right.
frustrate yourself because you're trying to rush it. You're looking at the clock. Oh my gosh, look at the time. I've been at this for two
Especially when you're
hours.
first starting out.
Yeah, especially if you're first learning a game, you're going to be 4 or 5 hours playing that
Right.
first game
Right.
because you're so slow and you're getting used to the mechanics and where am I looking and going back in the rules over and over and over. But once you get it moving, and then it's just like go 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 go. Then you can kind of bang on a game. The other thing, are you keeping stats? Or are you just kind of going along? So
Right. Right.
there's that there. David, Dufferman comes by. I didn't see Dufferman. And Michael Ken, yes, Herschel Walker. Yes, that was a few minutes ago. I'm sorry, I'm behind the chat, but that's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Was that
Dufferman asked the question later on after you just
okay?
saw his chat. And
Okay. Of all the football games I played, says David, 4th Street does the best at getting the defense players to dominate. Every defender has a card to roll on, like Apple quarterback card. I have not played any of the 4th Street games. That's going to be one of my things coming up. I do want to play that some of the 4th Street games. So, and let's see here. Parallel League comes by, and Christopher says, "Yep, this is a great community." And I always feel like jumping into a game when I listen to these podcasts. I do too. I was late at night. There was someone that's playing some Apple football. Oh my God, there's a few people playing Apple football, and I went to bed late. It was late last night after I got home from the rinks, and I was listening to someone play Apple football last night when I fell asleep, and it was just very enjoyable. It's always fun to listen to somebody play the games that you're doing, and that's kind of why I like to get on and play a game. It's just kind of fun. It really
it's
is.
almost like when you go to a sporting event, you come home and you want to play that sport on your table.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That always
yeah,
happened to me.
yeah.
Always. I remember coming home from the garden. I'm like, oh, I got to break out a hockey game. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So Duffer, so he wants to keep the game to play within an hour, then you won't be playing a full play game.
Oh, Dufferman asked. Okay. Yeah. That's why I asked you.
Yeah, just to be quite honest with you, yeah, you won't be playing a full play game, And let's see here. Yeah, season ticket is not difficult. No, that's not either. That's a fun one to play. And second season, that's why it has a small footprint. Yep, which is nice. Yep, it's just a one chart book there. It's a smaller chart book than Apple. I have the big chart book too. It's still smaller than the Apple one.
Speaking of Gus,
Joseph,
he's doing 50. I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, so, okay, go with Gus. What?
He was doing 55. Was he doing, because I know he likes CFL too, and Grant sells those. He has a bunch of them. Or was he doing NFL? Just curious.
I'm not sure. Joseph says fast action football is not too difficult. I almost pulled that out the other day. In fact, I did pull that out, Joseph. That's the Downey game. If we're talking about the same game, that's the first full play football game I played because when I first got into this many years ago, I was doing the Downey games. And fast action football is the one that I got. I still have a bunch of seasons that I haven't played in quite some time, but that's the one I first tried playing. That's a full play game. The only thing with that is it's all fast action cards, but you are flipping a ton of cards. And I think I was flipping 7 or 8 cards just for the punt because you got to check the snap. Is it fumbled? Is there a penalty? Does he get the punt off? Is the
Oh my
punt returned?
goodness.
But I mean, you get into the groove with it. But I had to create a cheat sheet because I forgot all many things I had to check. But the rest of the game is kind of simple. You flip to see who has momentum, to see which are you reading off the offense or you're reading off the defense type of thing, and then you flip to see who's going to get the run, and then you flip to see what the result is on the run, and then you go get the result of the run. Again, it's a very old game or older game, and it's not a ton of variety, but it was fairly simple, and I played a lot of that. I pulled that out the other day, and I was flicking through it. It's like I should play a game of this, and then I think I put it away, and I think I played second season. it just to me it made more sense. But fast action football is one of the first ones I played, and I did like that. Um, and David says Lawrence Taylor in 4th Street can sack your quarterback and knock him out of the game. That's pretty good.
I hear great things about it, but as much as I always say I don't mind a long play game, I'm not looking to play 4 hours of football. I'm
Yeah,
just not,
yeah. I wouldn't want to play 4 hours of hockey. You know what I mean? Just
right,
there's a point where it's like this is about as much as I'm going to go.
right. Like I could see the Apple Basic game taking me 2 hours. I might
Once
be wrong, Dave. I might be wrong.
once you get it down, and you get once you have the book open to where you need it to be, and you call your play, you roll your dice, and figuring out the defense is the big thing. Once you come up with a system for defense, like I have my own system,
Right.
I have my defense in 5 seconds. I roll the dice, look at the card, and I make my mental adjustments, and then I
That's
say it
what I
out
do.
loud. That's why you see when I play, and I say like, okay, it's BG. We get the BGs. We're playing the BGs. That's how I remind myself what to look on the chart. So then I
Right.
roll on the card and I go to BG. Oh, it's BS.
Right.
That's a bunch of BS. You hear me talking about BS? B index standard defense. That's how. So that's my BS.
Right.
And
What I was thinking of doing today was rolling 2 sets of 6-sided dice. One that goes on the defensive adjustment chart, and then one the offensive play.
yeah, yep.
Just so
And
I don't forget.
that's what I do. I roll one set for the card and I leave it on the table so I know what it
Mhm.
is. And
Good.
sometimes I forget. By the time I roll the second set, I forget what it is. I go back and
Yes.
I remind myself.
Good.
So yeah,
Okay,
so,
I'm
so
gonna
I
do
do.
that.
Yep. Sometimes I do that with games, and I leave that dice roll on the table. That way, I'm not missing anything. And Corey comes by. Hi, Corey. We're talking some football here tonight.
Corey, what's up?
And Gus says NFL for 55 right now, week 9. It's
Nice.
and he does have CFL, but he hasn't broken it out yet. Yep. Wants to finish 82. Matt comes by. Hi, Matt. Getting back to Tom Dempsey.
Mm,
Because he had the deformed right hand and foot. His teammates nicknamed him Lefty. I did not know that.
I didn't know that.
Mr. Jeff comes by. He is the Swedish Jeff. He got Apple football last year because of Dave. I'm sorry about that. And I agree, it's the best game. I want to get back to it after his 94 Apple baseball players. Yeah, he's
Nice.
having fun with that 94 Apple thing. I've been following that a little bit in the
That
Discord
was
there.
a crazy season. Some
Yep.
unbelievable numbers.
And Gus has his 2025 CFL taking up some bandwidth.
Oh yeah, he's part of that co-op thing they do.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and
Nice.
Grant puts out the in-season sets. Matter of fact, I just read. I think he put out the third one.
Oh,
So
nice.
he puts them out. I think after every don't quote me, 3 games, 4 games.
Yeah, he kind of, something like
Yeah,
that.
it's
Yeah,
cool.
I
It's a
did
good
see that.
idea.
Yeah. Jeff says he is this close to getting Action PC for his birthday. He's going to hold off till Black Friday. I like the Action PC games. The basketball game that has had the manual stat entry.
Yeah.
I'm crossing my fingers that they do that for the rest of the games.
He said he's gonna.
I would like to do that for hockey. I would like to do that for baseball and football. I don't know if I do the basketball. I'm not going to do enough long projects to do that with basketball. I still like my iScore on the iPad because it gets me my stats and my score. It's fast. I can just kind of plug it in. I'm getting good at it. And that's all I need. I really just need a final score and some stats just to talk about, but I'm not really going to go deep into a basketball replay, even though I stocked up on seasons
Yeah.
to support Joe. But the baseball I would absolutely like to do. I do like, as much as I like Digital Diamond, I do like the look of the Action PC stuff a little bit better. and I would love to be able to simulate games with the hockey or the football and kind of keep my own stats with that. So I'm kind of hoping that's going to be the way to go as far as the manual entry stuff goes. So I can be part of something that'll just simulate any game I want, and then I can
Yeah.
plug in my own game.
He did mention he was gonna do it with every release. I haven't received any hockey stuff yet. I don't know when he's putting it out to test, but I don't know. Find out.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that that's in there. I really do. And Joe says that's exactly what he does. 2 sets of dice for Apple football. I used to actually do that for
Okay.
Apple hockey. Is I would roll one for the shot to see if it's in range, and then the other set would be for the goalie. So it would just cut back on time. Now I have the helper that does all that for me, so I don't have to roll dice. But yeah, when you're rolling a lot of dice, if you're rolling and you get the result, then you got to roll again. That if you can cut that in half and just get one roll and roll 4 dice, it
Sure.
saves a little bit of time. It saves a little bit on your shoulders from shaking and all that other stuff.
And not forget. That's what gets me. I forget sometimes, like, oh,
Yeah.
what did I roll on
Yeah.
defense? You know?
Yeah. What was I'm the same way. It's like, oh boy,
Mhm.
what was that? Jeff says, I initially hated the USFL because I thought they were stealing players from the NFL. And then he
Yeah.
started watching the game and like it. Yeah, that's why I got one of those on my wish list. At some point, I'm gonna call Chris and I'm gonna pull the trigger on one of the USFL seasons, maybe even the WFL. Although I get into that a few months ago, and I got that for Action PC, and I played a game. And I think I played I think I have it for game winning drive. I think it was a momentum. So I did play a couple of quicker
Keith
play
has
games.
second season has it too.
I
74.
do have that. I do have that for second season. I do.
Mhm.
Because I wanted to play. I think I played an Action PC. I played the teams that left. I think it was like I don't know, was it the LA Sharks or something, and then the Detroit Wheels. I played the 2 teams. No, Jacksonville Sharks. So I played the teams that ended up folding, and I didn't even realize it when I played it. But I did play one game of that. Yeah. So I thought about that, but it's like, boy, that's a lot of money just to have a couple of fun games with,
Yeah, no,
But
I would pick and choose. Like, I, I'd probably lean. You'd probably play more games with the USFL. My
that's what I'm
opinion.
thinking. I don't know anybody in WFL. That was way before me, but it just was fun seeing the teams that didn't quite finish the season. I love those defunct teams, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? But
if you knew plays in the early '70s and late '60s, you would know WFL players
yeah, I
because
know
they're the ones
some
that
of
went
them.
over there.
Yeah.
Like the New York team had a lot of the
Yeah.
older Jets
I would
on
love to
there.
play like the Boston Breakers because I remember them being
Right.
in here. I didn't know anybody on the team, and I never went to a game because I think I was too young to drive at that point. But I remember they came here. I was like, oh, that might be fun to go see a Breakers game. I never did get to one, but I thought it'd be kind of fun. Let's see here. Gus also says, Vinny joined the dark side and play some CFL 2025.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I'd
Yeah.
love to.
Oh, yeah. Larry Zonka. Yep. That was one that I
He
think
was
the
the
other guy,
biggest name
there were
that went
2
there.
guys that went over there from the Dolphins, when I
Jim
remember.
Kick.
Kick. Yeah. Yep.
Mhm.
So they went over there from Miami into the WFFL, WFL, whatever it was.
Mhm.
Um,
It's a long time ago, bro. '74 is the season Keith came out with. I was 13. Oh, yeah.
so, Vin, when you're playing a football game, okay, but we'll say, either a medium play or long play game, what are some of the things that are kind of a must for you in the game? Is there anything on, like when you're playing the game, it's like, boy, I really need to have this because without that, it's just not as fun. And I'll give you one example for me. No matter what game I play, this really mostly goes for the middle games and the quick play games. I have to roll for my kicks. I don't like automatic extra points. I don't like automatic field goals. So a game like Game Winning Drive, which I really like, is one of my
Mhm.
favorite drive by drive games. The field goals are automatic. There's no drama.
Oh,
So
no.
you roll the dice and it's either a score or it's not. Okay. And if it's a score, you roll to see if it's a touchdown or a field goal. And that's how that game plays. And I like that game. However, momentum football, which is very similar, and it's another Downey game, it's a field goal attempt and you roll for it. So
Yeah.
I'm more prone to play momentum football because when you roll the dice, okay, it's going to be a field goal attempt, and now the kick. And I like rolling the dice. I think there's drama on every kick, whether it's an extra point or what. No, I think you roll for the extra points in game-winning drive sometimes. Um,
Oh, that's a must.
But this, for me, if the game does, oh, the extra points are automatic or the field goals or this, I need to roll for my field goals. The full play games is not a problem, but the medium play games sometimes. So for me, that's one of them. I like to have rolling for field goals and extra points.
Right, right. I do like a good fatigue system. I don't believe you should hand the ball off to a running back 40 times a game when
Right?
they
Yeah.
really didn't do that. It has to be some type of system. For me, and I think Apple Basic says that you can't run the same play more than 2 times in a row. Stretch says that too. I
Yeah.
like that. I'm not that fussy, but I don't want to see the game's got to be somewhat accurate. You know what I mean? Realistic. It's got to
In the
feel
ballpark.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I'm not looking at play a game and everything is going out of whack or teams aren't performing in the way they have. I understand even one season is a small context to judge by. It's just a small sample size, especially in football. There's so many variabilities in a game. So many things can change, but it has to feel right to me. And if it does, I'm pretty good with
Yeah.
like any game. I, I'm not that fussy with. Those are the things I would like, that I like to have though.
I like to feel like I got a football game, either I'm playing or watching. And sometimes I like to roll the dice and have the play called for me and just kind of follow it up and
Hmm.
put pen to paper, and that's what we do. And other times it's fun to call the play to see how that worked out. And sometimes it's like you call a play, oh, that didn't go so well. And other times it works out and you feel like a genius. So there's a little bit of satisfaction in that. As far as player usage goes, there are a lot of games. I think second season is one of them that has the player finder. Solitaire
Yes.
Pro has that.
Yes.
I don't know if, off the top of my head. I don't know if second season does. I don't know if season ticket does.
It does.
It does. Okay. So whereas you roll the dice to see who's going to carry the ball. So that way, there,
Hmm.
Earl Campbell might run it 25 times, but he's not going to run it 45 times. And you can't game the system. So I do like how it does that. When some of the games have the player finder to kind of say, okay, this is where the ball's going to go, and it's kind of fun seeing it go to some odd players once in a while. I do enjoy that. While your better guys still get the majority of the carries. I try to do that. I try to mix it up with Appa. I look at the game, see who's playing it. If it's going to be Rocky Blyer and Franco Harris, and they're going to carry it a combined 45 times, and
Yeah.
and someone else whoever Banazak or whoever it is, I forget who the other running back was, carries it 5 times. That's what I'm going to try to do. Is going to be Harris Blyer, Harris Blyer, Harris Blyer, and
Right.
then every now and then, okay, whoever this Banazak guy, I forget the third guy is, he's gonna get a carry. And I like to, when I play Apple football, I like to have 2 halfbacks and 2 fullbacks.
Hmm.
And the first 2 are the ones I go to mostly, but every now and then I say, okay, I'm gonna, Franco's gonna take a break, and I'm gonna bring in this other guy, and he's gonna get a carry. And
Right.
it just feels like a real football game because your running backs aren't going to be in there every single play. And that's what I like to do. I like to mix it up. Other games do that for you, so you ain't got to worry about it.
Right. I also don't like Strat football is famous for this. Like I said, I cut my teeth on it. Been playing it forever. I run an online league. Today I'm playing somebody, and what a lot of these guys are known for is strat ball. Okay. And what by that I mean when it's in situations where the majority of the time they're not going to run the ball. You have to guess pass as a defensive coach. They run. The guy's got a great card, and all of a sudden he turned a 2nd and 19 into 3rd and 1 because he made this huge gain off these great cards. It drives me nuts. But you
Yeah.
got to coach it. You have to coach against
Yeah.
it. Or you're gonna, guy was doing it today. He kept getting hitting everything with James Stewart, everything. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I have Marshall Falk. First of all, I don't like playing that way, so I kind of fight against that. But even on this like 2nd and 10, they're going to run the balls. Marshall Falk is the best player that season, and I wasn't hitting anything. That's luck. That's a dice game. But
Yeah.
when you're constantly getting burnt on unrealistic plays and strap balls, It drives me nuts. That's why I don't play the baseball game in advanced anymore. So I like realism built into a game where it's going to limit stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't like. That's why I play alone 99.9% of the time. Like I said, if I go to a convention and someone wants to play a little bit, we'll play. Mostly it's just going to be a period or a quarter just to kind of get a feel for the game or show somebody the game. Like I said, I sat down with you and I think we played a period of Hockey Bones. And I sat down with someone else and we played a period of something else. Maybe it was Stone Cold Hockey or something like that. But we weren't playing against each other. I was just kind of showing them the game. I don't like to play against anybody just for that reason that someone's like, well, this is how you kind of, if I play it this way, according to the cards, I'm going to do better in the game. Is that what would happen in a football game?
Right.
Probably not. I want to kind of play and feel like I'm playing a football game. And so when I play alone, I can do that. Or the game will call the defense, or the game will call the play, and I can just watch. I enjoy that. Probably, and I've said this
Yeah.
before, probably because I'm a broadcaster, I prefer to
Okay.
watch the play and broadcast the play than to, call the play. Like Juckett likes the strat hockey because
Mhm.
he can coach, and he tells me that. We talk all the time. He's like, I like that because I don't want to just watch. I want to coach.
Right.
I'm different. I don't want to coach. I don't want to have to make a decision on penetrating or shooting or whatever it is or intimidating.
Yeah.
I
Some
just
guys
want
hate that part of the game.
that's not my thing. So that's why I like the bones and the app of hockey because you don't have to try to do that. You're just kind of watching along and describing the action, which is kind of what I enjoy doing. And the same with the football, which is strange because app of football, I actually do actively coach that game. But I kind of a generic coaching style. I don't really get too crazy. I throw the long ball once in a while. Most of the time, it's pretty conservative, and sometimes I get a little crazy. But I never try to game the game.
Right.
I try to think if I'm playing 1977 and it's 4th and 1 on my own 39, I'm kicking it. No coach would go for it in the 70s on their own 39.
Right.
Not even 4th and inches. You don't even think about that today. Today,
The
you go for it
online
all the
shot
time.
online shot football, majority of them go for it.
Yeah,
4th and 2, 4th and 3.
yeah. So for me, that's not really like football.
I've
Eh,
worn out with it. I just have too many dear friends in the league that I run and the one I play in that I can't bail out.
but even some people enjoy that, and there's nothing wrong with that because
No,
that's what it's designed for. For me, I like to I like to just kind of
play it as they
play
play
it
it.
as I remember it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And every now and then I get a little crazy and I'll try to go for it at certain parts of the field. But, like you're on the 35-yard line. Boy, it's a little far for a field goal. It's a 4th and 2, 4th and 3. Do I want to punt from the 35-yard line?
Right.
But it's too far for a kick. I'd have to roll a 66 to hit the kick. Let's just go for it. That seems to be and then you go for
Right.
it, and
Right.
that's kind of what would happen, I think.
In strap football, a lot of guys will go into a full house backfield inside the 5-yard line. Some guys try to run it I don't care that formation is hardly used.
Yeah.
So I've literally never ever used it in a strap football game. I'll go down losing if I have to. They're like, well, the defense has this option. You should have an extra option. I do. I have a quarterback run. I got the back I could run because if you run out of a single back, they're the only ones that could run it. And I could pass.
Yeah.
I just can't sacrifice what I think
Yeah.
is the right thing to
And
do.
that's the thing about, again, I'm not saying anybody's cheating or anything, but just when you're playing other people, they're trying to win. They're playing to win, and they're doing things that most likely wouldn't happen in a football game. For me, that's just not fun. And
Right.
if I sat across from you and we played a game and you did that, I'd be like, this doesn't feel like football.
Right.
And I know
So
what you're trying to do, and this makes the most sense for you to run this. To me, it's not football, and so I don't. That's why I play myself, just by myself, and I can enjoy it myself, play it my way, and I don't have to worry about anybody doing that or me doing that or someone saying I can't sacrifice bunt in the second inning. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
mhm.
We
Yeah,
don't want to
no.
be we don't want to be sacrificed bunting. That's
And I
just
don't knock them. Like I said, I've been playing these guys for years and they do
yeah,
it.
yeah,
So Mike Kane just said there's a difference. Yeah, Mike, you know what John Madden used to say? That's a give up play. But because
Yeah.
strat the way it happens, it's, "Oh, I'm not gonna knock the system, whatever it is. I don't think
Yeah. Yeah.
it's worth it."
Joe says that's what's great about Fury football. You can play it any way you want, run or pass many times.
That's
Yeah, I
right.
like the Fury football.
I
It's
do.
I like those games. I mean, I can't wait to fine tune the XHL. I've already, like I said, I've already made my notes. And I can't wait to try it. And I said every night I sit down and have my pad of paper. I was like, okay, what could I do in this game that would make it still feel like hockey, but still kind of fun, and how would I make this? And maybe make it a very offensive game and score a lot of goals and make it maybe feel like a roller hockey game. Because, reading the directions, Keith said he didn't know if he wanted to play it on ice or if on, concrete for roller hockey. So I'm going to make it a roller hockey game is what I'm going to do. And I think I'm going to make it something like that. But yes, Fury football, getting back to what Joe says, I played that quite a bit. I enjoyed it, and I even come up with my own couple of rules. And that's one thing that Keith talked about too. He's like, you really can't break this game because it's a fake
No,
game.
no.
So if you're playing a standard football game, then and you decide to make field goals 4 points, that's a big change to the rules. With Fury football, it's a fake game with fake rules, and it just you just make it what you want. So I ended up figuring out a way just to convert a field goal at some points.
Okay.
If you got tired of trying to run the ball and didn't want to leave the ball, and whatever, you can try a field goal and it'll be 3 points, and at that point you lose control. When Fury football, if you score, you keep playing offense. But in my scenario, if you kick the field goal, you get the automatic 3, but that's it. That's your turn's over. And in certain situations, you'd want to do that. You'd
Wait,
want to.
Fury football, if you score, you keep playing offense?
Oh
No.
yeah, yeah, yep,
I've
yep,
never done it. I didn't know that. I've
yep,
never played it that way.
yep, yep. I think if you get it, you go for the extra point, and if you get if you get the extra, you keep going for extra points as long as that's what it is.
Right, right.
That's what it is. So you score
I
the
limit them.
touchdown, and then you go for the extra point, and you can go as far back as you want. And if you get it, you go again, and you just keep going until you're finally stopped. And so
Right.
so I think what I did is that at some point, if let's just say you had a fourth down and you were far away, you could try to kick the field goal. And if it come up short, that's just where the other team would get it. But
Okay.
the idea being that you could at least try for 3. So if it's a close game late in the game and you don't think you can get the touchdown, you can try for the field goal. And I don't know, it's
Right.
just something I put into the game. And it's like, again, you can't wreck the game. You can't
I
wreck the game.
swear if you ask 20 people that play the game, you're gonna get 20 different
Oh
type of
yeah, and
extra point rules, and they're all, "Wow, you do that? That sounds cool
that's the
too."
beauty of it. That's why I
Yep,
can't wait to
yep.
do something with this XHL. I really can't. Dufferman says, I suppose time to play the football game is the reason why football is last on his list of the 4 major sports. It could be.
Yep.
A lot of people don't like to play the long, long games. They really don't. And that's totally fine too. And Paul says, I totally agree with the head-to-head play. Again, it's
Uh,
some people love it. Some people love it, and there's nothing wrong with that. I particularly don't like to play against somebody. I just don't. I like to kind of play myself, and just because it's relaxing to me.
yeah.
When I play myself, it's relaxing. And if I played someone, I would get anxious about trying to win. And if I wasn't doing well, if they did something, then it's to me. I don't like to do that. It's too stressful for me to play against somebody else. I just
Mm.
I don't like it. It
I mean,
just
I have my moments. I just feel like I kind of gotten, with a lot of the new options they have in the game, and the only one I play, like I said, is Trap Football Online, and I can't leave because there's guys in there I
yeah, and you
would do
shouldn't. Yeah, you
anything
shouldn't leave.
for,
Yeah.
anything for. But if I had a choice, I much rather be on my tabletop.
And Michael comes by. Hi, Michael. He says, there's a difference between a replay and playing to win. Teams do run draw plays on long yardage down. Yep. Yep.
And John Madden used to say that's a give up play back when he coached. I'll never forget that.
Yep.
But
Yep. Christopher also says, I'm the same way. A game has to have realistic tolerance statistically.
mhm,
Franco Harris doesn't necessarily have to have exactly the same amount of carries.
yep,
But as long as you're in the ballpark, and the thing is, if you take Franco Harris and you run him every single time, and nobody else, that's not how the game was played. So for me, I think it throws off the stat. It's going to give him way too many yards, most likely. And that's just not how the game is played. And, I think it was, Tebow that said, I keep talking about this, you're playing APA baseball, let's say. and you're late in the game and you got to bring in the relief pitcher. Well, you're replacing an A pitcher with a C or D relief pitcher. It makes no sense.
Mm,
It makes no sense to do that. But if you don't do that, if you don't bring in the D relief pitcher there, then you're going to throw the game off because the game is designed for that pitcher to come in and do whatever it is he does, good
right.
or bad. And so if you just want to keep the A pitcher in and he gives up 20 runs and never take him out because the guy that's going to come in after him is going to be worse, you're kind of gaming the game. And that's
Yeah.
not what it's designed for. And I remember him saying that. And that made a lot of sense because I'm like, oh man, why do I want to bring in this guy who's worse? Because if you don't, then, you're going to be gaming the game. And it's the same with hockey. You get your goalie, he's having a bad day. Why am I going to pull him and bring in a worse goalie?
Mm,
Well, because if he gets shelled for 6 goals in a couple of periods, you're taking him out. You are bringing in a worse guy, but that's what would really happen.
yeah.
And so I like to do that. I like to keep it as realistic in my mind as I can, and that's why I won't play Franco Harris all those downs. I'll mix it up the best I can. Does it come out perfect? No, it never comes out perfect. But I try to do the best I can with that.
Years ago, the one turnoff that started me with that thinking was I had 3-and-1 football, and I took Jim Brown, and I said, I ain't doing nothing else but running him. I want to see what happens.
Well, a guy like that did run 40 or 50.
407. I'll never forget the number. 407 yards. I said, okay, now I kind of get keeping things in the realistic realm of things, like 407 yards. I remember sharing that with Jamie Marshall. We were laughing on it. And that was on the old Commodore 64.
Oh man, yeah. Now stuff. Now the flip side of this, if you wanted to have fun, and just if you wanted to play a game of app or a strat or whatever, and just run Franco Harris or Earl Campbell every play just to see what would happen, that'd be a fun experiment.
Right.
Again, your table, your game, your way.
Right.
But again, you can't just say, well, geez, I ran, Franco Harris 75 times and, the game didn't come out the way I thought it would. Well, because
really?
Yeah. But if you want to have fun with something, that would be a nice, like, what if, Jim Brown ran every single play. There was no passes, nobody else. He ran every single play, even fourth down. He ran every single play. I think it'd be kind of fun.
I bet if you did it in Apple, there's no way he's coming close to 407 yards.
Oh, yeah, probably not. But that'd be still it'd be fun to try. Jeff says he saw the Pro Strategy Football. Yeah, that's another one that is coming out pretty soon. That looks gorgeous. Again, every year they make that game look better and better, and I don't know how they do it, but it looks like fun. Can Fury Football be played like it's an arena football game?
In what way?
Yeah, in what way? It's a small field.
Mm-hmm.
It's only what, 20
11 zones
11 zones or something like that. Yeah, there's not a lot of zones, and it just, you call a play, that the defense calls a play, and you see how many zones you gain. It's kind of a different game. Brian also says, I played an entire 32 team double elimination Fury Football tournament with the new NFL set last weekend. Wow.
Holy
I didn't
cow.
think about that. Yeah, that could be kind of fun to do. Jeff says, I have 1981 on Apple and surprised Joe Montana. Joe Montana's rated 4. Ken Anderson is a 5.
Ken Anderson's season, that 81, was unbelievable.
Yeah, that's the year they went to the Super Bowl, right?
Yep. He was throwing high percentage before high percentage was real. Yeah.
Michael says, I play online college football and basketball. It's fun competing against other humans. With Action PC, I don't see much trying to play the system. We play for fun, but it's competitive. Well, as long as you're playing with the right people, that's the thing.
Action PC is very hard to game the system too, though.
Yeah, they do a good job with that.
You're not running third and longs all day and think you're going to be picking up first downs or, second and long. Yeah, teams did it, but third and long, and then you're going to end up with fourth and short. It's not going to.
Yeah. I agree with Jeff. It's more fun to play solitaire because
you win every time.
Yeah, you're never disappointed. Even when your favorite team, even when your Red Sox give up a 5-run lead after the first inning, it's still fun. and it's just such a good time, and it's relaxing for me. See, I don't need any more stress in my life, and so when I play against somebody, I get stressed out. Just because, yeah, again, my competitiveness comes in and whatever. But when I play solo, I can do it my way, and I can make my adjustments. I can make my mistakes. No one's going to yell at me about, you can't do this, you can't do that, and why are you doing it like this? And I would rather play co-op. Like when me and Jucket used to play, one of us would roll the dice and another of us would do the play, and I enjoyed that. And we would like work together to try to play the game instead of playing head to head. I enjoyed that better. I really did. In fact, there was a game I played. I think I was playing with Michael Silva in
Okay.
Connecticut, and it was a monster game where two or three people were rolling dice trying to defeat the monsters on the table. I was so tired though that I forgot how to play. I brought it out. I was like, man, I'm just like my eyes were falling out of my head. It was a long day, but I was trying to show them how to play it, and just everybody got a turn rolling dice, and you were working together to try to figure out how to put the dice in certain positions to get rid of this creature that you were trying to kill. And there's certain dice you had to put first, and certain dice you couldn't put until this, and then this guy you had to kill first every time. And it was a fun co-op game. You work together. And I love games like that.
Well, Keith, Mark Miller, and I played the President We Have a Problem game.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And oh my goodness, we were laughing. We had a blast. And then Joe played, I don't know if you remember this, the First Contact game at
Okay,
your
yeah,
town.
yeah.
Joe's just, I don't know, he had it on his mind and he kept talking about it. And Mark had it with him. So he played with Keith. By that time I think I went upstairs to die. I was exhausted. But Joe told me he had a great time with it. So I like that stuff, co-op together. Yeah,
I
it's
prefer
fun.
to play that than head to head. It's just my thing. But anyway, so Paul says also, because I meant to agree with you, Dave, about head to head play. It feels unreal. I want to see the game unfold naturally. And that's just me, and obviously Paul too. And as we already said, Jeff said it's more fun to play solitaire. I just think it's more relaxing. Like when I come down here and play, there's just no other feeling. This is my I'm insulated from the
Yep.
world
Yep.
for a little while. Even the
Right.
coyotes that are over here by the window over here, or the
Right.
possums. Did you see the possum that tried to get in my window? Uh,
Oh no.
yeah, yeah. I
They're
had this window
harmless.
open one night, and I was doing a chat here. And when I went back and replayed the video, the possum was over here not trying to get in the window, but he went right up to the window over here, and I would have saw him if I looked over.
I'll be
He,
afraid of the coyote
yeah, yeah. I know.
because
I
they're
like
harmless.
the possums eat ticks. They're good. The possums
Yeah.
are good. We had one out in the yard one time, and when I let my dog out when he was alive, I think it was last summer, the summer before, and he's barking his head off. I looked, and the poor possum was against the fence, just like frozen, and the dog was like 10 feet away barking at him. So I went down, and I got between the two of them, and I was like, "Come on, let's get in the house." And the poor possum was like shaking. I was like, "You're all
Oh,
right, you're all right. Yeah, I got you." And so I ended up getting my dog in. He was just like barking at him, but yeah, I was like, "You're okay, bud. You're okay."
yeah.
So I saved him. Let's see here.
As
Back in
far
the
as talking head to head, I like it. I do. I enjoy my time head to head. Me and my friend Anthony play a lot. Joe and I have played. Phil and I have played. Um, I enjoy it, but for my like totally relaxing, yeah, solitaire. You can't beat. I'm in my own head, my own environment. My head is not a place you want to share too many people with to go running out of my house. But I do enjoy. I like both, but I've always loved playing the board game of Strat Head to Head Advance. I
really,
think it. I think it's phenomenal game. Phenomenal game. So I don't mind head to head.
I what was I gonna say here as far as that goes? See, I didn't even play in Colorado. They had all those games in Colorado at the play thing, and everybody was doing. Man, I couldn't even bring myself to do that. I just because I know myself, what I enjoy and what I don't, and I just don't like playing against somebody else.
And that's fine. There's not a thing wrong with
Yeah,
that.
and see, but I know myself. I know myself, and the last time I tried it, I just didn't have fun because I wasn't doing well, and I just like, yeah, I don't want to do this. So I like to play these games solitaire, and even if I got to play against myself and guess myself, I try to play it fair, and and
Yeah.
and for me that's it's just so it's just so fun. It really is, and it's very relaxing. And except when David says I stress out when I play any of the Chicago teams and they lose. Yeah,
Oh man.
I'm the same way. Sometimes
Oh
I
no.
play, I'll play it like, the Bruins and they'll lose. It's like, holy cow, how did they do that? Or the Patriots will lose, or any of my Buccaneers, whatever. But sometimes it's fun. You make up a story in your head, and it's just like, wow, how did that happen? How did they lose? But it's just still kind of fun. Dufferman says I have the XHL in my cart, the XHL in my cart, and I will purchase that in the next week or two. He loves fictional, then you will like that.
Cards are really nice too.
Yeah, yeah, I did. I unboxed them the other day. They're great. Christopher says playing head to head, sometimes the competitive level of the individual can make it not fun.
I was
I,
guilty of that, Chris, and I hated myself. I ruined nights for people. Constantly complaining about the dice rolls, and I don't do it no more.
yeah, that's why I don't. I used to play. I was in and out of a fantasy football league with supposedly friends and relatives, and some people just kind of went along with it and had a good time, and other people took it quite serious. And I would just like jump. I would play for a season or two, and then I'm like, it's too serious for me, and I would jump out, and then I'd miss it, and I'd go back, and then the same people would do it again, and I just wanted to have a good time, and I wasn't having a good time, and I could never finish in the top 3 or 4. And the competitiveness in me just made it not fun. And then, the better people just did the things that made them better. And I'm like, yeah, never mind.
Now,
Never mind.
fantasy football, if you're not playing for a lot of money, I don't really care. I don't. I'm not going to fret over losing $100. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now you want to jack that up to $1,000 entry fee. Yeah, I'll fret a little bit. No, I'm trying to win.
Jeff says playing cards and dikes makes you think more because you're coaching and managing two teams, coming up with
Yes.
different strategies. You have to get creative, and I think that's a great
Yes.
introduction tool for kids. Yep.
And thought of that. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is kind of fun. Think, like I said, when you're playing football, let's say, if you got a good quarterback, you want to throw. If you got a good running back, you might want to run. If you got a good kicker, you might try that long field goal. So yeah, there is a different strategy there as far as looking at that. Yep, it is.
You know what's funny? You talk about kids. Jeff made a great point. Every young kid, and I'm talking, we'll say average 10 years old, 8 years old, that I've tried to teach over the years, they got the ball. First play, bomb.
Long pass. Yeah, yeah.
Every single one of them,
Yep.
man. It just shows they just don't know yet. But listen, that's how I learned. I cut my teeth in strap football and strap baseball, 1968.
Yeah, that's what we did as kids. Every player was going long. Everyone go long. Everyone wanted the home run pass. Everybody wanted the sports center pass.
Yeah.
Michael comes in and says, I did something with 84 Marino and strap, throwing long every play versus computer, 14 touchdown passes.
See, that's crazy.
Man.
That's crazy.
He says Bill Walsh was in Cincy with Anderson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Brian says the Lance Hafner games on the Commodore 64 were awesome.
I got them. They're on my laptop. I used the emulator and everything. I got them on my laptop.
Yep. Jeff talks about Football Mogul. I have that. I haven't played that in a while. That is the fastest game, by the way.
Really?
Football Mogul. Yeah. If you've never seen Football Mogul, it's a Clay's computer game.
Yeah.
And you pick one team and you go to week 1 and you play that one game, and you kick off and it comes up, tells you what happened. And then you go, if you're on offense, you pick your play, your formation, and you play, and it tells you what happened.
Real teams?
Yep, real teams. Yep. And it's that fast. You could probably play a game in 20 minutes. Because you're just clicking and getting the results. There's no animation. There's no nothing. It just kind of tells you what happened. And then, then if you got to punt, you punt. Now you're on defense. You pick a defensive play. And it's just, just click, 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 click. As fast as you can click, you get the plays done. And you fly through a game. And it is kind of fun to go in. I'll go in and, play a couple games and, 30 minutes or something like that. And it's fast. Sometimes you just want a nice, fast, easy game. There's not a lot to it as far as graphics and animation and stuff like that. But it is kind of fun. And so, so Football Mogul's one if you really want to play fast,
Yeah, graphics and animation are like one of the last things for me. Unless my brain does it all.
But I like to see a little bit of movement because when I play 2nd and 10 and there's nothing, you're waiting for something like Strat or Action PC. You want to see a little bit of movement, you know. Gus says on Action PC for something foreign and alien, I play an NFL game from the 30s. I consider it a victory to have a successful field goal. Yes,
I get it.
yeah,
I
that
get
that
it.
that game that I actually gave to Jeff, the thrilling football game, was a college game. An extra point was only good on a 7. So that's how it was. Yeah, yeah. That might be kind of fun to pick up a game from the 30s.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Red Grange, baby,
I
Red
don't know if
Grange.
Appa has one of those. That might be fun to pick up and play, just to see how it goes, or see if there's one for season ticket or second season, just
Like
for
I said, I
fun.
got the 32 season from Chris, and I'm looking forward to diving into that.
Just to play it for fun, because I have some of the old baseball seasons, and they're fun for the onesie twosie, just to kind of to kick around.
I love old time baseball. I love it.
Christopher says there's an optional Fury football rule with the field goals. If the roll isn't enough to put it over the line, then the ball is moved to wherever the field goal yardage is. It works like a punt. Yeah, I think I just modified that a little bit, something like that.
Hmm.
There's an optional punt field goal thing, you know. And Big Van Vader comes by. Good to see you, bud. I'd like to play football or baseball head to head sometimes. Anything else can be solitaire. Yeah, I would see how football or baseball would be the way to go. I can see that, Big Van Vader. Thanks for coming by. And Chris says he still's got the Lance Hafner games, still plays them. Yeah.
Like I said, they're on my laptop.
And David says, have you ever tried Axis and Allies with no table talk? A new player playing Russia will buy battleships and aircraft carriers. Those are short battles. I never played that. I've heard of it. It'd be fun to watch. I never played that though.
I played a massive. It's on my computer. I think I got it from Stream. I forget the name of it. It's a war game. I can't win it to save my life, but it's fun playing it. The graphics, I haven't touched it in a while.
I have a
That,
couple of light war games that are fun.
and I have a Civil War game. So,
Oh, do you? Yeah.
yeah, graphics are great.
Arnold comes by. Good to see you, bud.
Hey, Arnold, what's up?
Good to see you still playing. So we're just kind of chatting some football here tonight. D. Scott comes by with the hat. Nice to see that hat going right there.
Hey, D.
And Jeff says, Gus, your football in the 30s comment had me visualize the Marx Brothers and the Horse Feathers in the Three Stooges. I just said that, Jeff. When Vinny was talking about I'm playing 32 football, I says, all I can picture is the Three Stooges, playing that football game there. Just that's what I remember. It's kind of like when I think about opera, all I think about is Bugs Bunny.
How about when they used to with the Marx Brothers with Jeff with the cadence, all the rhyming they were doing. Professor Wax something like something, and Professor Wagstaff gets the ball. Oh, that was classic. They don't make stuff like that anymore. No vulgarity, nothing. Unbelievable. Oh, they were great.
I wonder how far back. Okay, so you said you had 1932?
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so if I click on that and I go to the New York Giants and I got this schedule, does it?
Oh.
Okay, so their first game they played Portsmouth Spartans. Oh, okay, yeah, it doesn't. That was a 7-0 game, and Dutch Clark had a 2-yard rush, but it doesn't tell me who played in the game. So I was kind of wondering what that would show for a box score, but yeah, it just shows me who.
No, I don't think you'll get. I don't know where you would get that info. Maybe in the archives at the Hall of Fame. That'll be a trip we can make. Go there.
I was just kind of wondering. I wonder if I went back, like what their. So I'm looking at their passing and the rushing to see what they did on different plays. So they had 106. They completed 50% of their passes. That wasn't bad.
Wow.
So here's a team. So look at the 1932 New York Giants football.
Yes.
And it looks like that they had 164 pass attempts. Okay. And they had 423 rushing attempts. So that was 3-to-1 ratio, maybe a little bit more than that. So for every 4 plays, they ran 3 of them. So that they passed a lot more than I thought.
Yeah, people don't realize it. People don't realize the Bears were 45%. But yeah, no, people don't
Yeah,
realize just how much.
I didn't realize they passed that much back then. Um, that's kind of wild. Yeah, I wouldn't think that, you know. And Joe says that he does like the first contact. Your town is a fun game. Yeah. Um, Swordfish. Do you ever see that movie? D. Scott Howard brings up Swordfish. That with
Yeah, that's
Haley
the Marx
Berry.
Brothers.
Oh,
Oh,
is that
that's
what
what
it?
you
The
yeah,
the
he's
newer movie
referring
with Haley Berry and
no,
was it
he's
Hugh
referring to the Marx
Jackman?
Brothers.
Oh, was it? Oh,
Yeah, because they had a whatchamacallit, that was the password to get into Swordfish.
I like that new movie I saw. It's probably about 20 years old now, but
That
I
was
did
with
like
John
that. You know.
Travolta, that was a good movie.
All right, so Michael Caine brings up a good point. Yeah, John Travolta was great. I like John Travolta now compared to his disco years. I think he does some great roles. The passing rules changed in 1932. So is that the one where you could pass forward or you weren't punished for an incomplete pass? I know they had some really weird football rules. So maybe that's why they started passing more. But when you talk about, football, and we're talking real football here, as far as passing goes, the old three yards in a cloud of dust. We all joke about that as far as football. And I think back when I played my 70s, especially the early 70s stuff, I was like, well, I can't really throw too much because they all always ran. They never threw. But man, I go back and every now and then on YouTube, I'll get like a 1974 game of the week or 1970 this week in football. They're slinging that ball
Yeah.
around like I don't remember.
No, they threw.
And I was just like, how a 60-yard TD pass? What do you mean 60-yard TD pass? They never threw it more than 5 yards. I mean, that's my
Mhm.
recollection of football back
Well,
then.
back then, they went deeper more than they do now. That was the
Yeah.
whole thing. You ran to set up the pass. And when you passed, you went downfield, took shots downfield.
Well, nowadays your passes are like runs.
Your pass sets up runs.
You
Yep.
know, like Brady, he would pass a million times a game, but he would throw for 2 yards. And so when he so it was like, okay, it's 2nd and 2. He would, instead of handing it off, he would just throw it for 2 yards, and he would get the 2 yards.
Right.
And so his passes never went far. And so short passes are now basically runs is what it is.
Yeah. I don't know when it started. Like I said, I don't follow current football. I probably watched more today than I've watched in a while, but it's it's almost physically impossible for a defensive back of almost any stature to cover an NFL wide receiver going across the field.
Yeah.
It's just you can't keep up with these guys,
I saw
especially when you can't check them at the line. You can't hit them.
a couple people saying you have to be 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Okay, that's something I didn't know.
Oh wow!
I didn't know that. And the NFL record for passing yards in a game occurred in 1951. Nolan Van Brocklin, 554 yards is what David's saying. 1951. That's interesting. Mike in the truck is listening to playing Command and Conquer. That's 0 Hour.
That's staying on.
Some of those
topic.
games are fun. I enjoy playing some of those games. I don't play them very often. There was a summer about 8 years ago. I bought a ton of those games, and I was like, "Oh man, this looks like fun!" And setting this up and having them battle. And I never learned it, but it was kind of fun doing that. Getting back to the football chat, yeah. So today was opening day for football, and I got home from the rink just in time to see. I think I was midway through the first quarter. I was listening on the radio driving home to. I like one of my favorite things that I used to do was on Sundays is right around 3:45 here in the East Coast. I used to like to go out for a walk or take the dog for a walk, and I would put on my headphones and I would listen to the NFL channel, and they'd whip around the league. So while I'm walking the dog at 3:45, usually it's getting kind of cold. It was kind of nice. It's a nice walking time. And I'd listen to, all right, so now let's go to Cincinnati where they're down by 3, and then you go and, okay, now it's 1st and 10. And, okay, now back in our studio. Now Green Bay is down by a point and they're driving. Let's go to Green Bay, And then they whip around the league and you catch all the endings of the game, the radio version. And it was really fun to do that. That was one of my favorite things to do. Back in the day. Now today I didn't get to do that because I was home and so I didn't have to worry about it. But I did listen to the whip around early in the day on the NFL radio. And again, the first few weeks I really get into it. because it's like anything else. And then after a while, it kind of fades out a little bit. But it's always something about the opening week of football and getting excited about it. And I actually sat and watched a little bit of football today. Patriots lost, of course. We all know they're going to stink.
I thought the Jets were going to win. I was asleep. My wife got up. She goes, "Oh, I think they won." I look. They gave up 17
Well, there was that
quarter
fumble
points.
wasn't a fumble on a kickoff or something
I
like
don't
that?
know. I missed it.
I think I
17
saw the
quarter
highlights. Yeah,
points.
they
Come
were
on.
winning, and yeah, Pittsburgh scored, and then they kicked off, and I think the guy fumbled on the kickoff, and they got it at like the 15, and then they went in and scored again.
Nothing changes.
Yeah, and after that, I don't remember too much about that, but what do you think about us? This is the football show, and so we can talk about football. What do you think about the new kickoff rules?
I hate it.
I do too.
Hate it. It
I
was
do
one of
too.
my favorite plays. It was one of my favorite.
It's
I
part
did
of the
it when I
game.
played. I loved it.
Kickoffs are part of the game. The surprise onside was part of the game. They're saying that it's preventing injuries.
Yeah. And I could see it.
I don't know if yeah.
There's a lot of money they're paying out. These guys today.
I know. I get it.
Down that field.
I just thought to think though, is it really saving that many people?
I understand the intent. I don't like it. Same way I never liked when they changed the bump rule. After 5 yards, you couldn't hit a guy no more. Can't hit the quarterback. You might as well just play two-hand touch with that.
Yeah, I'm not
All
too
that
crazy
stuff.
about the quarterback rules. I'll be honest with that. The quarterback rules I'm not a big fan of. But as far as the hitting the receivers when they did that, I think it was in the mid 70s they did that. I think it opens up offense, and that's fine. And I know it's an offensive league, and they gear everything toward the offense.
That's why they did it.
Yeah, and I think it does make it a better game to a point, because it is kind of boring. If you just watch and defense dominate, to me that's kind of boring. Not that I want to see a 55, 54 game, but watching the kickoffs, it's hard to watch the kickoffs now. I get why they did it, and if it's saving lives, then I guess that's fine. But college hasn't changed yet.
Nope.
And I don't know what's going on with college. Are people getting hurt in college? I don't know.
Well, again, you do have the NFL where every player is just like
Oh yeah, they're a
like a
monster.
car wreck. Right. You don't
Yeah.
have that in college. They get down that field and oof, it's brutal. The field is too small now with the way these kids are growing and as fast as they are. It feels small, but
Yeah.
that's
Well,
what turned me off from the game.
like Joe says, the way the rules are today, guys like LT would be called for penalty every other play. And he doesn't like where the NFL is going. I haven't liked where they've been going for a while here. But again, I'm not playing it. But if you ask the players, they want to hit.
Yeah.
Players want to hit. I mean, these guys are young and they're full of P and V, and they want to hit, and they don't want to take this stuff out. And what I didn't like the other night, I saw Mahomes. He was running towards the sideline at the last second, threw his shoulder into the DB and flattened the DB, who was pulling up on the play.
But if it's the other way around, you're getting 15 if you don't get thrown out.
That's not right. I mean, you can't. It's kind of like when a goalie checks somebody in hockey, and everybody cheers. Yeah, you're a big tough guy. Hitting somebody, no, they can't hit you.
Right.
So Mahomes doing that is just like when a goalie throws a check. Well, you want to check? Let's check. Let's let you come out. Let's you get hit. Oh, you can't do that. So I don't see why they should be able to hit.
No.
So someone brought that up that says if Mahomes is going to do that, he's going to go out of bounds so no one can touch him. That should be treated like a fake slide. That should be a flag on Mahomes. If you create the contact when you're supposed to be going out of bounds, you should get a flag.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
It's a good analogy with the goalies.
Yep.
But it's when you send somebody out there and give them the lumber.
Yeah, they don't like the lumber in the playoffs.
I'm watching it again.
It's funny. The second and third time you watch it, it is
hysterical.
Yeah,
I know it's vulgar. God forgive me, but
the third time through on season 1, I was crying. It was just so good.
Trying to get Joe to watch it and
you don't get. We're talking about Shorzy. You don't get Shorzy the first time. The third time through, you
Oh,
just,
man.
man, that is just hysterical. As somebody who's played hockey and knows hockey,
And
it's
he
too
plays
funny.
the part so good, man.
Yeah, he does. Until
Oh,
the early '70s, an incomplete pass in the end zone on fourth down was a touchback. An incomplete pass in the end zone on fourth down was a touchback.
really?
So that means
I can't argue with Mike Kane. He knows the game really
so
good.
that so does that
I
mean
never knew that.
if I'm throwing a pass in the end zone on fourth down, it comes out to the 20? Is that what they're talking about? Maybe.
Back then, that's where the touchbacks came out
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I remember hearing back in the day, people used to try like 80-yard field goals
Yeah, because
because
you only went to the 20 if you missed.
yeah, but it had to get inside the 20. I think you had to bring it inside the 20. So it made more sense to try the long field goal rather than a punt, which was kind of strange. But yeah, there was some rules that they had that were kind of weird, and no one's going to hit that field goal, but as long as it gets
Mm.
inside the 20,
Right,
still,
because if you shank a punt or you just, just come up short and don't hit a good punt, at least there you're getting, moving the ball.
Yeah.
Was 60 yards?
So Michael says yes. So if you were fourth down, threw it in the end zone, it would come back out to the 20. Interesting.
Wow.
That could be a good football fury rule. So, someone should make a game and make it all the old crazy NFL rules.
Oh, man.
5 yards behind the line. I remember listening to hockey that you couldn't pass forward in hockey. That
Yes.
you can only pass
Way
backwards.
back. Right.
And then the goalies weren't allowed to go to the ice. They would get a penalty and they would get fined if they went to the ice. And so the goalies used to pretend to trip and fall. And look, I tripped, and so finally the league said, okay, fine. You guys want to go down? Go down. So they get rid of the rule. But yeah, that was a rule that you couldn't get on and you get fined. Not only would you take a penalty, you get fined,
Yeah, I think guys like Joe Malone in the early days played with that way. It was how to pass behind you to advance the puck.
Yeah. Paul says the fourth down incomplete change in the mid '70s. See, I didn't know that.
Confess, I never knew that.
Yeah, we need more drop kicks and introduce the Rouge. I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to. I don't know if I'd want that. I don't know if I'd want to have the Rouge. It's interesting. I can see where it is. I still think that's weird. Every now and then you see a Canadian Football League and a guy misses a 30-yard field goal, but it goes out of the back of the end zone. He gets a point and he breaks the tie, and it's like you're rewarded for missing a field goal. It's kind of like, oh, you missed that breakaway in hockey. We're going to give you the goal.
Yeah, we'll give you.
You'll give you the goal. You were close enough.
Take another shot.
Don't let Keith hear me. Oh, what was that about the Fury football? The third down quick kicks. Yeah, no one ever does that anymore. No one gives up a down.
No.
You can't do that. Every now and then you see a fourth down kick, but it's not a quick kick.
No.
Jeff comes by and says, I wish I could say I enjoy watching sports today, but it's just not as enjoyable. He's going back to watch older games and having more fun playing older seasons. I'm kind of the same way, Jeff. Although every now and then I get caught up in the modern seasons. Every now and then. Like last year, hockey playoffs, Marchand going to Florida, beating Toronto was kind of fun. And then the McDavid Edmonton series was pretty fun. So that was some fun hockey there. I still don't know any of the players. That's why I didn't buy the season, because I just don't know any of the players. I think I bought it from Grant, and I still haven't played it yet.
I do not miss many hockey games throughout the season.
That's
just the only sport. Every other sport could go away tomorrow. Sorry, chat. Hockey, I watch every game I can.
Yeah, I just have a hard time watching full games. I don't even watch full movies anymore. It takes a lot for me to sit. I'd rather watch something on YouTube or play a game here rather than watch TV for a long time. I'll listen to games on the radio. Sometimes I like to listen on the radio, but very, very rarely will you see me sitting. The big thing for me as far as watching games is the ads on the dashboards that move around. They kind of give me a little bit of motion sickness, and it's
I can see that.
they're going this way, and then there's a car racing the other way, and it's like, What is that?
Then McDavid just flew down your screen, threw everything off.
Yeah, I don't like that. I really
So
don't like that. Yeah. So and
but
so I'm
I
not
do it.
a
I
big
love
so,
love
but
it.
anyway, all right. So, we'll wrap up our chat here in a few minutes. So, I want to say thanks to everybody that joined us. This was episode 280 of the Digital Studies podcast. This is kind of a live chat, the football show, as Vinny get out there playing some APA football, and we just kind of talked about a lot of different football games we played, as well as football in general. And Jeff says, Flutie was the last player in the NFL to try the drop kick. Yeah, it was on an extra point actually. I think it was. It was late in the game. The Patriots were actually losing the game, but I think they had already clinched first place. So Flutie went in and hit the drop kick for I think it was the extra point, and it was kind of funny. So good for him. Flutie just done so many crazy things, you know.
Always liked him. Always.
Yeah. Um, and Joe says throw on a hockey game and roll a game of 49 quick dicks or hockey blast.
Boom. There
That's
you go.
yeah. Next to hockey show. I know we do need a hockey show. It was supposed to be wrestling tonight, but Mr. Little got tied up, so we didn't get to that tonight. In the 50s, for a legal tackle, the defender had to have the ball carry in their grasp or they could get back up. That's interesting. Did not know that. And yes, thanks for coming by, Barbara and Jeff and everybody else. As we just wanted to talk a little football here. Opening day,
Yep.
Sunday opening day, we should say, of the NFL season. And we wanted to talk about a little bit of things that we played. So Vinny says, so you're enjoying the app of football. It's a little simpler than you thought as far as gameplay.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. If you're on the fence, I know it's a little pricey, but I would give it a shot. I'm glad I did.
It just, to me, I don't know. I don't know what kind of voodoo's in that game, but it just really does feel like a football game.
You know, I got to play golf in the morning. Not that early. I think about noon. But when my daughter falls asleep, I'm going up. I'm going out. It's on the kitchen table. I'm going to keep playing that 72 Miami, 71 Cowboy game.
Yeah, I'm tempted to set it up on the table here tonight, and because I got a little bit of time tonight and tomorrow that I could maybe play some. It's a long game, but boy, when you're done, it's just like, man, that was so good. And you know the thing about a long play game, no matter what it is, whether it's hockey or basketball or football, baseball, it's not really long play. You're going to play all the outs no matter what fairly quickly. But when you sit down, you play that long play game, and you get to see all the good plays, but you also have to play the boring plays. And that makes the big plays stand out.
Yeah.
So when you play a game, a highlight game, and you see all the goals or all the scores or whatever it is, and you don't have that buildup.
Right.
You don't have this, oh man, I've been stuffed on a couple of runs. Now it's 3rd and 12, and then you spring the guy for the 40-yard touchdown. If you only see the 40-yard touchdown pass, you can't appreciate it as much as you could if you had those plays that didn't go very far.
It's like playing a game with Gale Sayers or Barry Sanders. You're going to go through those -2s, no gains. And he just took off for 40-something yards. Oh, that's why I'd rather full play games. I get the quick play stuff, 100%, but I want to see it all happen. I want to see it all happen.
Yeah, there's some set, and I avoided it for the longest time because I was like, oh man, I could play 3 of these games in the time it takes to play this. Yeah, but when you get done that long play game, even if it's a blowout, I've had some fun playing the blowouts, and the team just can't get anything going, and you sense the frustration, and they're 3 and out every time, and they got a kick, and the other team's like, well, we're just going to kind of run it and chew up the clock, and dink and dunk with some passes. It just, no matter what game I play with Apple football, it just feels like a football game, and it's just so satisfying. It's so fun, and it takes me a while to set up, and it takes me a while to play. And I kind of don't care. The enjoyment I get out of that is so fun. And I talk about, Grant's hockey games, the 49 quick decks and the 49 highlight. The highlight game takes me about a half hour, and it's just 30 minutes of pure fun. The full game takes me hour 15, maybe an hour and a half to play the full game, but it's intense. It's very intense and exciting.
I still haven't tried it yet. I still haven't tried it.
Because you see the plays happening. You see every single shot. You get the penalties. You get the power plays. it's not condensed. It's the full version. So when something happens again, it's a bigger deal than the highlight game. You get the automatic shots right away, and they're always good shots on net, and that's how that's designed. But when you just get a regular shot and you're not adding anything to their scoring range, and the goalie's still got to struggle to make the save, it's
Right,
super fun. It really
right.
is. So
And I get that when I play solitaire strat football. I just haven't played in a while, but I do. I get a full experience out of it because I'm playing it. I'm not gaming nothing. Will I try certain stuff with? Yeah, I'll try an end run with third and long, see if they could just make a shorter field or a punt or field goal position. But I get that experience. I definitely get that experience out of it. I
yeah.
love playing the game. I could see Zonka chewing up yardage.
Oh
I
yeah.
could see John Brockington making those big runs, and I get the same feeling out of it. And I have,
Yep.
enough of seasons to have fun with that too.
I think I played a Vikings game one time, and I just Chuck Foreman was just chomping
Oh,
up, just kept giving it to him, and then Talking would get throw his pass, and Talking would scramble, and you check the outside run, and he would pick up some yards, and it was just again so fun, and just how it plays. And again, my favorite moment, and this is one of the moments I talked about in Colorado, was when I was replaying the Tuck Rule game, the Raiders and the Patriots in the snow, and it was 4th and goal from the 4. Patriots are down by a touchdown, and it was 18 seconds left. So I called for a short pass for Brady, right? So it's 4th and 4, 4th and goal from the 4. And I rolled the dice, and it was a scramble. So I rolled for the Brady scramble. It was a fumble. So I'm thinking game's over, right? And I went to the fumble chart, and the fumble said 5 yards and recovered by the defense. Well,
oh,
I'm on the 4, and the rules state if you cross the goal line before the
right.
fumble happens, it's a touchdown. So
Wow.
I picture Brady running through the snow, diving into the end zone as he gets hit, crosses the goal line, and then the
Mhm.
ball comes out, and it's a touchdown.
That's the only way you could view it.
And that's what they say. They said, if it on a play like that, he went 5 yards, and that's where the fumble occurred. Well, as soon as he made the 4 yards, he's in the end zone.
Wow.
And that's how my Tuck Rule game ended. We went into overtime, and Janikowski hit a field goal for the Raiders to win it. But that imagine that
Wow.
that was my Tuck Rule game.
So if I was a betting man, I would think that he really didn't recover, but the refs gave it to him for the touchdown.
Yeah, of course you would.
That's a great ending, though.
But
Seriously.
I mean, how many times
Yeah.
have I talked about some of the great endings I've had, and that was Apple football, that great ending, and then the other one was the Super Bowl, the Colts Jets Super Bowl with Namath and Unitas, and
68.
yep, and so I bought that Super Bowl season. I didn't buy the season; I just bought the Super Bowl teams, and they went, and Namath got the ball with like a little over a minute to go, and he drove the field.
My man.
And Namath drove the field, and the Jets pulled it. It was a high-scoring game, too. I want to say it was like 35-33 or something like that. It was really high-scoring compared to real life, but he drove him down the field, and I think I have that on my channel somewhere if you have anybody wanted to check that out. But I played the Super Bowl, and what are the chances Namath drove down the field?
Well,
And he
he did
did.
guarantee to win.
And it was I've had so much fun with Apple football. That's why I consider it one of my top games. And again, not that I haven't had fun with any other game. So I mean,
No, no, no.
let's
I get it.
I don't want people to say, oh, what about this? It's like, but for me, I find that I it takes me a long time to play that game, but boy, I get my money's worth every time I play that game, and that's why I have a handful of seasons, and I just really enjoy it. So
I'm looking forward to it.
yeah. And one last thing. So Joe Cards for him says, happened to be in my Apple football game today. Walter Payton, 2-yard loss. Walter Payton, 1-yard loss. Walter Payton, 3-yard loss. Walter Payton, 18-yard run. Walter Payton, 12-yard run. Yeah, and that's why we do this, because not everything's going to be an 18-yard run. You're going to get your losses. You're going to get behind the line of scrimmage. I played a game the other day, and I forget who the running back was, and he couldn't do anything. Couldn't do anything. And maybe it was Earl Campbell. I forget. Couldn't do a damn thing. Just everything. Every time I handed it off, it was either no gain or a 1-yard loss. And I was just like, it's just not his day. He just can't run the ball today, and they're not blocking for him.
It happens.
And that was the storyline. So the guy that should have picked up 200 yards might have got 40. He was rolling poorly. It wasn't his day.
Right. It
And
happens.
so
But that's what makes the games fun.
that's what makes all these games fun.
Because
And
if you just went
yep,
by the box score, what good is it? Just read the
yep,
box score.
yep. Play the game and have some fun.
Oh yeah.
And so anyway, so we want to know, what football games do you play? Do you like the quick play games? Every now and then I like to roll a final score game. Just, this team's an A, this team's a B, roll the dice, get the final score. Sometimes those can be fun. I do. I get my fun out of that. And then the drive-by-drive games, your game-winning drive, momentum football, fast drive football, family football. Those games are really kind of fun as well. So the drive-by-drive games can be kind of fun. And then you got your full-play games, and we talked about a whole bunch of those here tonight.
Mm,
And some of the Strat and the app, they have all the cards on the table, and then you have some of the other ones where you have the team sheets. But we talked a little bit about the pros and cons. It is super fun to have a card in your hand
yeah.
of a certain player. It really is.
Yeah.
Just something about that is just really special.
Yeah.
And you don't get that same feeling when they're on a team sheet. You
don't.
just don't get that feeling. But you do pay for it because you're paying for the cards, and it's a little bit more of a setup. But that's why it's great that we have so many games to choose from.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, I might even just pull out second season tonight because I can set it up in 5 seconds. Whereas app is going to take me a while, but so if I wanted to set it up and get into a game, second season or Solitaire Pro, that's the way to go for me.
That's the diamond with Strat too. And my only search right now, and I've been looking for about, 5 years, is for the 1971 original square cards. That was my first Strat football set ever. If I ever come up with that, I don't know if I can get away from the table because I could picture so many cards.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, I was young. I was 14. When I got that as a gift from my oldest brother, all my other gifts weren't open until hours later. I took that box. I did everything but sleep with it. I went in. We had a 6-room railroad apartment. I went in the first room, which was my sister's bedroom, sat on her bed. I hear paper there open, and all I was doing was looking. And back then, they were all separated into teams with the black rubber bands. And I just...
Yep. I've got a couple of gifts like that too. When I was a kid, when I opened it up, and it just felt like that you were transported to Mars, and everybody else, and nothing else was there. You were just all by yourself with this game. You're like, man, this, and I forget which one it was. Just like, this is unbelievable. This is wow.
I played the heck out of it.
Yeah, I don't need anything else. This is all I need. Yeah,
most memorable Christmas as a kid. Anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Frank jumps in at the last second, says he plays Fast Action College Football by Downey Games. Is that the Fast Action Football from Downey where you're flipping the Fast Action cards? Because I have that, and I pulled that out the other day, and I'd have to refresh myself on that. But I do remember playing that. I do remember enjoying playing that as well. And Joe says Strat football is a pretty quick setup. That's one of the beauties of that game. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And that's why everybody's got their pluses and their minuses. Yeah. So Frank says, yes, that was the Fast Action Football from Downey. Yeah, I should pull that out again. I did enjoy that. There was a couple little quirks that drove me nuts about it, but I did have some fun with that game. And I've played a handful of games. I do have some of the seasons with that. Anyway. All right, so that is that. Again, ways to get a hold of us here. Digitaltodice.com is the website. 978-751-DICE is the text line or the voice line. You can leave us a voicemail if you like. Digitaltodice@yahoo.com is the email. And over on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/digitaltodice. And if you are a Patreon member in our Discord, I'm trying to add some things to some of the perks that you guys do. And one of them was I was thinking about trying to set up a Discord audio chat. And I've never done that, but I see people do it. So I went in last night, and I was just kind of in there by myself. And if somebody wanted to come by and chat, we could chat. But I'm trying to think about maybe setting up a time to have like a half-hour chat that anybody wants to come in that's in the Discord and just kind of hang out and just have an audio chat and say hi. Something like that. Might be kind of fun. And it doesn't necessarily have to be about games. It could be about anything. Like last night I was sitting there watching some of the college football game, and I was slipping between like the night race and golf and football, and just kind of hang out for a few and chat with each other. So
Cool.
any ideas on that? Yeah, any ideas on that? Let me know if anybody in the Discord would like to kind of have a hangout chat some night. It doesn't have to be early, doesn't have to be late. So it's, we can come up with a time. Just kind of do that, maybe once a week or once every couple of weeks or even once a month. Just set up a time just for the the people that really support the show like that. Just come in and hang out and just have some fun with that. So that's something we can talk about too. But anyway, all righty. So that is episode 280, the football show. We talked a lot of football games and football chat in front of a live audience and got a lot of great comments here.
Yep.
And so,
Fun.
so we will talk to you all later. Thanks for coming by. Vin, thanks for coming on again.
Thanks again, buddy. We'll
All
talk
righty.
during the week.
And RIP 29. He's got his Canadian shirt on. It's such a sad day when I found out that Kenny Dryden passed away. So,
Yeah.
all right. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Good night.